So what of this for England? Great score by Scotland.
Another surge from France.
That's what New Zealand can do.
Oh, look at South Africa go!
Great strike back from Wales.
And away come Australia! Italy are improvising. Numbers queuing up for Ireland.
It's a brilliant try from Fiji.
It's absolutely perfect.
Oh my goodness!
For destiny!
The chase is on!
Hello and welcome back to Maul and Disorder, aka The Mad Show, and it is the same trio as last week. We have recruited Ronaldo back in the mix. I mean, this is the appearances in the week. You're becoming a bit of a habitual, Ren.
Yeah, habitual things are probably the most unrecognizable traits that people frown upon. And I'm teasing.
And despite what we're going to go into later, Wesley, as 50% of this host, or the show's hosting capability, I might need a bit more from you from a predictions point of view, because it was a torrid weekend. How was the weekend of watching rugby there, gents? Where'd you watch the game? Where did you watch your predictions get worse and worse?
Yeah, it was terrible. I think at most of the games, you could very quickly tell I was way off. So we'll get into more of that later about my predictions and just how poorly I did. Hopefully you guys did a bit better than me. But I was at a mate's house, which was really cool. So as you said last week, I'm back from Botswana, and we kind of glossed over that for a bit. But I've been out in Bots for 4 years, which has been a lot of fun.
Do we know this, mate?
Yeah. Yeah, some of you might know. That's true, actually. You guys probably don't. But out in Botswana, which has been amazing. I was working for a conservation company, and it just was incredible. So I had an amazing time. But good to be back in the 011, seeing a lot of friends that I've sort of had over the years. But at my mate's house, stunning to see them again. He's had twins, which is like super exciting. Although something not so exciting is his dog. Okay, and now just before you all unclick and unsubscribe here, but I love dogs. Okay, and I love this dog as well. But ever since his wife fell pregnant, the dog has taken on this protector role where he's just become super aggressive.
And I think for context, we need to ask, what dog is it?
No, that doesn't matter. Okay, in your heads, I need a big, scary dog. It's a beagle, so it's not that scary. But anyway, look, this thing just took to me like I was an intruder. So much so.
Fair, you have been in Botswana for how long?
Like, can you see this? My whole shoe was in this thing's mouth. Can you? Okay.
That is nice on a New Balance.
So I go around to watch the rugby, go around to have a lack of braai, and this oak just decided.
Is this like a plea to like shoe companies out there that you kind of shorten a bit of
yeah, not sponsored unless.
Yeah.
But no.
What's the dog's name, by the way?
No, I can't name and shame him. No,
can't
so
name
he's
and shame him.
he's a good boy. What he's doing, he's protecting his family. He's protecting his dad, his mom, and his 2 new siblings. So
Okay, no, fair enough.
there's no ill will towards him.
No, fair enough.
It was quite a shock. Almost as shocking as my predictions. But anyway, it was good fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you lost a shoe during the Bok game. Ren, what was your vibes? You were analysing and things like this, eh? And packaging and getting into it for the show.
No, it was pretty cool though. So yeah, we had a bit of a busier Saturday. So the morning was obviously dug into the New Zealand-France game. That was a really nice game. I really enjoyed that. Saw a couple of interesting and funny moments in the game. But yeah, just spent at home, took it nice and easy. So that was really nice. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Quite fun. Yeah.
Right, and then gentlemen, obviously we had lots of rugby this weekend. So let's get into exactly what happened and where we are.
Right, so guys, the breakdown. First segment of the show, talking about the rugby we saw over the weekend. What a jammed pack Super Saturday in a sense. I mean, just games coming out of our ears. Obviously some really tasty matchups that we were looking to, but we're going to start with what Ren, you were alluding to in your little wrap up there, which was the France-New Zealand game. So Steve, I'd love to get your thoughts. Just high level stuff, blue sky, big picture, your gut feel. Tell us about the game.
I think they've justified sacking Razor. I think that...
Big call. Yo.
You got to throw something out there. Look, I mean, early days for Dave Rennie, but I think we saw a New Zealand side that had plans, and I think a New Zealand side that adapted. And what was interesting is even the player comments afterwards. Cam Roigard, quick to say, yeah, tactically we were a bit different. I felt like I kicked less, for example. So I think there's obviously a very marked difference. It's not a case of repackaging what he kind of did last year. A couple of new players as well. Ruben Love at 10, which I thought was an interesting call. No Bowden Barrett in the 23. So he's definitely come and made his mark. And the thing is, I suppose a win like that gets the players behind you, because it's quite easy to buy into ideas when you're winning. When you start to lose, it becomes a lot harder. But I think that they look good. France, I thought, the French, when they play well, so well coached. Maybe decision making a bit lacking at times. Probably should have gotten the win. It was there for them. Mathieu Jalibert, I could watch that man play all day.
And Jalibert's try, coming from at speed to the line, I thought it was a forward when I was first watching it over the line, and then I heard Jalibert and saw the number on the back. It was incredible to see him get that momentum. And Ren, you mentioned some funny moments in the game there. What stood out to you that was funny about that game?
Oh, well, I suppose it's always difficult for me to try to look at a rugby game and not try and be too technical.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way in which they started the second half, there was a bit of a mix-up from the kickoff. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a contestable kick. They went up, and then there was a miss that happened there. For me, I always laugh at professionals that get paid a salary. That's
the classic, like, middle-aged father on the couch. They get paid millions to kick for goals.
Hence my comment, because I'm just taking the knickers out of him. But it was a lovely game to watch from a technical perspective, and analysis was but I think as a rugby fan, you also need to find the joy. And again, I really think that the French team had flair. Part of the comments were obviously from the New Zealanders that the French flair came out. I do want to maybe touch on your comment about maybe New Zealand finding their form. I do think early days, there were a lot of French mistakes. The turnover counters were too many. I think they would have probably got under 50 if France was on song. It would have been a different story.
I just think it was a fun watch.
100%. I agree with you.
That was my favorite thing about it, is that. And you get up, and I'm going to say it's early, but when I'm doing the watch long, you have to get up and do all the pre-stuff and you kind of thing, and you sit there going, please, can this just be a good watch? Because there's nothing worse than when you start your day and you watch especially the beginning of the season, and it's error-ridden, and yes, there were mistakes, stuff like that, but it was highly, highly entertaining.
No, absolutely. And it was, we spoke about the French flair, and I think I don't know what the New Zealand equivalent is, but a lot of the comments I saw was like, it looked like the old New Zealand in the sense of offloads into space. Players were flooding through. So when people got their hands free, there were those offloads, and you just saw that old classic New Zealand side that I think we are used to. So no, let's, again, lots of games to get through. So I think we'll park that one for now. I think a great first introduction to the Nations Championship. Moving on then to another tightly contested match, looking at Australia-Ireland, right? And again, maybe two sides that last week we were talking about, we're not really sure where they're sitting form-wise and what we thought was going to happen. But then we got the result we got. So, Ren, I want to come to you first. Your top takeaways from that game.
Yeah, Uncle Joe showed us how good he is. Hey, Uncle Joe.
I'm sorry. I know Les, they should just be, that Rio Ferdinand moment. You must write down what he wants on a piece of paper and sign the contract.
Yeah. And it's quite sad that he's only have 2 games left with him. So for me, I think the hunger that I think the Australian team showed, and that desperation to put a bit of pride back into the jersey, and I think the response from a very well-rounded off Irish team was phenomenal. So I think those 2 factors produced a very entertaining game. And I do think BMT is something that people throw out here and there, but I do think there were a lot of BMT moments, and I think a lot of guys came short. No pun intended there with that last kick. But yeah,
but the ball, sorry, was it the captain went up to him and said, listen, do you want to take this or we go to the corner?
Did that put more doubt in him?
I don't know. He seemed to see quite. He basically
he was adamant.
Harry, we're taking it.
But then being adamant and then being asked again.
Yeah.
That for me was a little bit bizarre, and no disrespect, I think, to people wanting to get that reassurance from someone doing it. But I just...
It wasn't quite the bongy, do it for South Africa,
South
do it for
Africa,
South Africa
yeah,
kind of
where
moment
Pollard
where
thumps it
he
across.
goes and says, you got this, hey? And he goes, yeah, and you go, yeah, 100%, we're going to back the call.
So you get what I'm saying? So there are certain, and just based it back to that, there are certain BMT moments that stand out because the big match is set up in such a way that it's natural. It shouldn't be... Big BMT matches are it just happens. You don't have to fabricate it. I kind of felt like that kick was kind of, okay, I've got to do it now because I've got to show everyone that I can kick it, where you should have just gone to the corner. Just my opinion. That's okay.
Yeah. In some universe they did, in some universe they won, but it wasn't this one.
But Uncle Joe, literally, I've always been a fan of him, not because of just, his background and history, but just the way in which he can work with players that have been kind of written off, but also young players that are coming onto the fray, similar to how Uncle Rassie does these things, and Uncle Dave as well. So yeah, very good.
Yeah, I love the fact that he backs, as you said, youngsters. He's happy to go with... Look what he did with Lynott last year. I mean, he had basically played no tests.
Correct.
Up against the British and Irish Lions.
Correct.
Going, are you mad? You've got Quade Cooper. You've got James O'Connor you could bring in here. And he goes, no, we've got a plan. I'm going to take this player and I'm going to put it in a plan. So I think, as you said, in terms of Rassie, I think when you play for Joe Schmidt, I think there's such a confidence. And interestingly enough, I spoke about that's what Quade Cooper was talking about with Dave Rennie. He said similar kind of situation. When you come in, you know your role. You know where you stand. You've got that clarity. And I think that's where a lot of people are talking about maybe the England setup not being as happy in that sense in terms of a bit of issues within coaches and the likes of that. My big question is, are we seeing a fading Irish side, inverted commas? I mean, I think they've definitely lost the kind of aura they had 2 or 3 years ago. Plenty of injuries, yes. And obviously got the result, yes. But I wouldn't say I'm scared of this Irish side.
No, not at all. Definitely. I think I'm there with you, Steve, 100%. Like, I don't have that, that nervousness, butterflies when you see...
Yeah, when
South
they
Africa
came out
Ireland
after the World Cup and we went to a training session, I went, this is going to be a big test. Like, this is a proper side. They came up short at the World Cup. I was lucky to watch them against the All Blacks, one of the best test matches I've watched in terms of intensity point of view. But I look at this Irish side and I don't get the... I'm worried about them type of vibes.
No.
Who's the face of Irish rugby at the moment?
The problem is your best player is Tyke Bird, who's like the quiet, just gets on with it.
Engine
we
room,
need a
just
big...
does his
I mean, at least
personality.
Sexton... at least Sexton was controversial.
Yeah.
Correct. No, but
Yeah.
and you've touched on exactly that point. Their fly-offs has been their biggest issue at the moment, and all due respect,
which they put on themselves because they never picked anybody else.
Yeah.
And they never groomed anybody else.
fair enough, but also not. I think that they've had your Osborns and they've got very good fly-offs, but I don't know if them picking Prendergast is working for them in terms of putting fear into people.
Yes.
So he's not one of those controversial in-your-face fly-offs. He does his part, he does his role, but it doesn't feel that whatever they're going to bring, we have to be prepared.
Yeah, it's not like when Scotland
We can
says,
figure it out on the day.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like when Scotland says, well, Finn Russell's fit, we go, oh, hang on. That's like now a different...
There's a
different,
Scotland with Finn and a Scotland without.
Yes, and there was a Scotland without this weekend,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I agree. I don't think people panic about...
their playing abilities, their
Yes.
ability to just attack from anywhere in the field. Gibson Park having the snipe because he knows
Yeah,
his
best nine
bailout
in
is
the
a
world.
very good fly-off that I can give to, and then there's just that opportunity. So I don't think that edge is there. And I don't know what their solution is because, again, the Burns brothers haven't necessarily lived up to the expectations. So
Jack Crowley was being backed. Now he's injured at the moment, to be fair, but I would back him more. I think he's a great fly-off.
yeah, so Ireland has got a massive bit of recruiting to do.
Yeah, there's still a solid base there. It's just, as we said, like finding that key that unlocks everything and gets the whole team firing. Because if you look at it, the team hasn't changed that much from the team we were also scared of. Yes, big names, big personalities have retired and no longer there. So how do they pull that back and can they pull that back? But question for another day, maybe a longer discussion in one of the segments in a future episode is, where do we rate Ireland and how do they make a comeback? So moving on to the next one, if that's okay, Ren, lots of rugby to get through. Looking at, take your pick. I believe it might have been Italy, Japan, which was quite a surprising result for me.
Yeah, Italy lost. We can move on then, my boys.
Steve,
I spent
we're
I spent 110 euros on buying their starting World Cup jersey to absolutely no Vale watching them. I watched them lose.
Can I just
badly
ask,
as well?
the jerseys that they're playing in now, is it the same make? Because they were knocking on a lot of balls. What was
Yeah,
it?
I'll tell you.
Was it raining? I don't know. I don't know. Was it
What was the reason that you guys?
They got beaten by a Japan side with a university student at flower half.
Sure, what are you saying about university students? For all the stellies, for those stellies and the potch watchers out there.
And I think that's probably said enough. No, look, there's university students. I mean, the guy's not even. It's not even being picked like. I suppose, look, Zach Paulson was Varsity Cup a couple of years ago, but it wasn't a Japanese side with plenty of experience, stupid amount of experience, stuff like that. And Italy it was a decent side. We need Capelizzo back in terms of players. Players you kind of look and go, oh, hang on, now they're playing. Not good.
No, and I think this comes back to the difficulty. And yes, I'm going to make all the excuses for my picks, but the difficulty of trying to base teams off a couple of months out, no form to go on, or the last competition that everyone played in. Again, Italy, for all, at least that I thought, and I think we said last week, looked pretty good in the Six Nations, right? I mean, they looked solid, they had foundation, and we thought, okay, they're going to carry that through.
Every time Italy feels like they're taking a step forward, they take a step back.
Couple steps back, which has been super frustrating. So, Ren, any highlights from that matchup, particularly in the Japanese side? Maybe we've lamented over the Italians. Sorry, Steve-O. But yeah, from the Japanese, what impressed you the most, and then what also do you think they can improve on the most? So to build on this now, how do they carry on the momentum?
No, fair enough. I do think it's always difficult to ignore the brilliance of Eddie. Eddie Jones is one of the coaches that I think a lot of people, like the 2015 South African team, kind of undermined. So don't undermine that he's able to coach players. So when you say someone is able to coach a player, that means that you are able to teach them skills that make them stand out in very, hectic moments. This was one of the clutch games. Japan had to come through and they had to obviously play well. So I think their combinations work really well. Their foreign players, as well as obviously all of the players, and I say foreign players, people that have obviously not been born in Japan but play for them now. They've obviously become eligible, and their contingent obviously being there. But then all your Japanese-born players also standing up. And I do want to highlight the following. And I dare say this, New Zealand used to send a lot of players way back to have their sabbaticals in Japan. South Africa has done this more and more in the past couple of years. Has the South African players that go there and the New Zealand players also going there had a better influence on the Japanese players' quality? I think that is a big talking point for something else. Just as a fan's perspective.
I mean, small things. I mean, they would basically ask like JC Creel, like, are you battle hardened because you play in this Japanese league, which everybody thinks is basically touch rugby? And he said, have you seen the size of some of the Samoan guys in there? He says, just because you see it's a high-paced thing, but that's the thing. I mean, in that league, you've got all the South African players, you've got all the New Zealand players, you've got some phenomenal players in that Japanese league. So.
All your Samoan, your Fijian, and some of the guys that go from Romania as well as Georgia, some of them that want to play a little bit, in a better league, in their local league, phenomenal. So, my take out of it is Eddie Jones just shows his quality in terms of coaching to, specific outcomes, getting players to, be well prepared and then executing on the Italian front. A little bit disappointed, obviously, by their result. But I do also think that a lot of times like we said in the previous chat we had, we kind of overestimate as well as underestimate. Sometimes you just let the player roll out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think what you said there's reminded me about, and I forget his name, and you'll forgive me again. I'm very much the casual fan, so you guys, this is where I'm going to rely on you. The captain of the Japanese side, the New Zealander-born, is that
Lynch?
Is that Lynch?
Yeah.
I saw on social medias this week, New Zealand approached him, or allegedly, let me not say anything with certainty, allegedly approached and said, hey, do you want to come back? And he turned it down. And I mean, that is quite something, right? As a rugby nuts nation as New Zealand, like South Africa, where every young person's dream who loves rugby is to play for the national side, the Boks or the All Blacks, to be able to get that call up and then to actually turn it down is something quite admirable, and it really speaks to kind of the Japanese doing something right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think these days it's worth. Playing for Japan is not they're a two nation inverted commas, but they're becoming more and more of a tier 1 nation. And I mean, getting to World Cup playoffs now, and there'll be a quarterfinal once, and then maybe they can get a semi-final and stuff. So, I mean, when they're going to win the World Cup in the next 10, 15 years, probably not. But we need more tier 1 rugby sides, and we need Japan to be a challenge for teams to go and play, which I'm hoping they're going to become better and better. Obviously, they need to find big forwards. And try and sort of add that part, but they're progressing. And speaking of progress, tell you what, Wales all of a sudden are almost looking like a rugby team again.
Fair enough. I just want to ask though, where does Japan fall? North or south? Sorry.
Yeah, well, this is the part. World Rugby.
Let's put a poll out to you guys. Where does this sit?
For Japan.
Tell us where, because Eddie is in basically coaching, all over the place in terms of southern teams.
Well, speaking of this, I mean, Wales and Fiji. I mean, Fiji's home game this weekend is against England in England.
Correct.
So.
It is kind of sad, and maybe it's not the right platform to talk about it. But sometimes, and I think last week we spoke about this. World Rugby needs to also look at the way in which they, want to generate, revenue, but also who they're targeting, who they want to try and develop. Us as fans, and people that are just having a relaxed chat about, rugby, also need to look at their realistic economic, circumstances. The mere fact that Fiji cannot play in their home nation means that their spectators, their family, their friends, they don't have that. They don't get to go to the stadium and have that experience. And I don't know all the geopolitical issues and all of the issues that there. I don't know that detail. Not something to dive into it, but just the mere fact you've got to play your rugby in a different country.
And in England.
Yeah. Again,
Sorry.
Maybe logistically it works out that they play in England. I don't know, but it's just one of those tricky situations. And it's for me not nice.
But how frustrating that Fiji have to contend with time zone issues and jet lag, and England don't.
Get what I'm saying?
England flown straight back to the same time zone, and Fiji will now have to go for a inverted commas home match in England. It's not ideal.
No, but it's the first year, and again, I mean, as you said, broader point about trying to look at how do we enable nations to play in their nations.
Yep.
Right? If it's the Nations Cup, there should be every opportunity to do that, or at least closer. But no, it's a fair point. And then actually on the Fijians, Steve, what did you think of them? Obviously didn't get the result that they wanted against the Welsh side, but did we see a Fiji slightly slipping back to the Fiji of old, a bit chaotic and disjointed?
The biggest problem with Fiji is the logistics of them. All the players play outside the country. Lots of them some of them in the Japanese league, as mentioned. Obviously, some of them in the French league, some of them in the Prem and the likes of that. So they're going to continue having the issue of players not being available half the time if they've got games outside the window. They don't get... Rusty has alignment camps, and he says, right, come for the week and we can see where you are fitness-wise. This is the plan, this is the thing, and they just don't have that. They've got the players. There are some proper players in that Fijian side. And I mean, them getting as far as they did in the last World Cup showed that. But until they have a opportunity to kind of keep their players within Fiji, Moana Pacifica is dropping out of Super Rugby, so that's a problem. They don't have a local side, they don't have a local competition, they don't have their players inside their country. It's the same as the likes of Georgia, for example. There are a lot of Georgian players playing in better leagues. Argentina have a similar problem in terms of all their players have to go basically play abroad. And Argentina have got incredible talent. But I mean, Argentina, if you look at some of the results they've had, they should be contending for World Cups. And they've gotten to semi-finals, the likes of that. But it's a similar like Fiji. I think we underestimate exactly how lucky we are that we've got players who can get together. We can have extended training camps. We've got players all playing within... Yes, obviously we've got Japanese and experienced players, but there's a good 50% of our squad plays across 4 franchises. This weekend, if you look at the box, for example, 2 Stormers props on the bench. Your hooker and your number 5, Ronald Kier, is taking line-up balls from Johan Krobelov. They play together. Fiji won't ever have that at this stage. They're not going to have the situation where your 2 centers are playing at least locally together, all these combinations. So you're kind of walking into a Fijian training camp going, hi, I'm Steve. Versus where, at a BOK camp where you're kind of almost flying together with your various different people.
No, and I think you're absolutely spot on. And I think you also owe me $100 because I think it's
this economy.
Yeah, well, I'll take 95.
A whole liter of petrol.
With I think we're under 20 minutes, and Ronaldo's got his book out, and he's going to tell us something technical. So I think there
Oh,
was
no. I was actually checking something else.
Oh,
I
damn it.
just thought,
Then I owe you 100 bucks. I thought, couldn't help yourself there with the technicality there. Just, man is filled with facts and figures.
Oh, no, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's interesting that you obviously look at that stuff. Now, I didn't have any fact or figure about this Fijian side. I did want to make a comment about, you said, obviously them playing there, but I don't know if it's an administration issue on the Fijian side, or is it an administration issue on World Rugby side? And I do maybe think we should open up maybe because we might have Fijian, viewers, and maybe ask them the question, what is it like from your perspective? What do you guys make of it? Sorry, that's actually what I wanted to. I wanted to just have a look at who they're playing next. Oh, they're playing England. I'm teasing.
No, but it's a good point, and this is why we keep talking about the fact that World Rugby have to do more for these nations. But I mean, World Rugby, we tend not to ever really appreciate World Rugby. But tell you what, somebody who's interested houses for a lauding of World Rugby kind of segment into the South Africa, and Rassie Erasmus very happy with the more laws and some of the stuff. We did see more mauls this past weekend. But how cool is it to be a Bok fan right now and to kind of go into games and we're now putting 40 points on anyone and everyone at the moment?
No, it's insane. It's unbelievable. And you spoke about that first test match. It felt like a test match in terms of France, New Zealand. Yes. It was tight, it was hard fought, it was, and then the same thing, Australia, Ireland, it's like a test match. This is going to sound weird, but I almost feel like South Africa's not playing test rugby.
Yes.
Because this is going to eat my words, but it's too easy. Like, we're putting too many points on too easily. It's not the World Cup where we fought in those last games. And we know tournament rugby is different from test rugby and World Cup rugby, especially the injuries and the depth. But yeah, Steve, I mean, it's just, it doesn't feel like test rugby, and you just wonder.
And not to say we won't lose. Like, we lost to the All Blacks last year, for example.
Sure.
And we could lose to an Argentina, but when we get into our groove, it also feels like sometimes even when we're not playing well, we've just got a nap. At the moment, we're just scoring so many points. I mean, it's 40. It's 40 points becoming the benchmark.
Yeah. Can I maybe then jump in there? I think the idea of test rugby is obviously based on eras. If you've got specific eras, if you've got specific rugby models, game models, game styles, specific different players that are playing. We kind of laugh about the fact that we've got players that can play multiple positions. Remember, we had a conversation about would you have on the bench, but in a very realistic and serious way, we obviously would score more points because the players are eager to actually have a high succession rate. So you don't have as much, the mindset of kicking for goal, but you'd rather go kick for touch. What does it mean if you? And this is where the technical side come in. If I kick for the corner, I get to set up a maul. If the maul doesn't work immediately, I don't score a maul try. I've then pulled in the rest of that back line to try and come defend. If they don't defend successfully, I've got an opportunity to kick crossfield. I can score a try easily there. Or the inverse can happen. You try and collapse them all. I get a yellow card, penalty try. That gives me another opportunity to go attack against you or from that kickoff because now you play less down. There's a sequence of events that happen there. So I think the way in which rugby has developed, and you could see you don't have to just use the South African game, the Japan game, for example. They literally had an opportunity where they could just keep on going again and again and again against Italy because of the way in which the Italians couldn't just stop the attack. So players, and I think teams are a lot more positive about attacking rugby. It's not necessarily just lethargic, but I also think that the fans have got a big role to play because we want to see exciting running rugby like we used to see back in the day. So I think contests have changed because of the way in which I think coaching and I think players adapting to the coaching styles have changed. So it's quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when we go to the World Cup because at the moment we're not seeing people take points often. We're not seeing that again, as you mentioned. That was kind of always the thing for us growing up. It's a test match. You go for poles. This is.
Can I ask just why do you think that was the case? Just from your personal experience, your personal thoughts. Just flashback. What was the? Did you ever ask? Oh, but why?
I mean, I think the kind of the vibe we kind of got was just that every point was so valuable, and every test match it wasn't about any bonus points, for example. You weren't worrying about points different. It was just about, you know, taking every single point on offer to ensure the victory. And you kind of, I suppose I mean, I don't know. I think maybe also we kind of felt that because it was a test match, it was harder. Yes, we always kind of, even growing up, we kind of expected the Boks to win, but now it was basically a case of like, but this is a good opposition, so you're always going to try and take every single point versus, oh, cool, well, now we're playing against the Tonga, now we can kick for the corner. But it's an interesting point. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really question kind of that. It was just kind of, it's test match rugby, therefore you take the points.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I wonder if it's a, you know, like not necessarily a respect for your opposition type thing, you know, so you kind of see going for poles is almost the respectful thing to do because you respect them that you don't think you can get over the line. Or is it a self-belief thing? Like we go for the polls because we don't think we can get over the line. I mean, it's probably both, you know. And so now the Boks going for it, is there a greater sense of self-belief? I mean, look at the form that we're in, the depth, back-to-back world champs. You know, maybe there is this confidence that goes, it's this mental game. We know, right? We've all played sports to different levels, you know, and even in the lowest level, the mentality of sports, the psychology, has such a big impact on your game. Yes, fitness, conditioning, strength training, all of that. But if your mind's not in it, it's going to be a very, very long day. Before we move on to the final matchup of the weekend, I'd love to hear obviously about the last game. No, sorry, not that. I'd like to hear rather about your top takeaway from the Bok game. So just your highlight, what's on repeat in your head? Steve, I want to start with you.
Zach Paulson has to go to Australia. Has to. Tight head's a position that I think we are so blessed to have so many because realistically, if we look at the tight heads from the last World Cup, none of them are currently playing. Francois Herbert's not playing, Trevor Newcon is not playing, Vincent Cox not playing, and yet have we blinked and realised that those three aren't playing? Because we've got Thomas Latoya playing the way he does, Wilco Lowe comes in this weekend, but Zach Paulson, that guy made his debut less than a year ago. But when he made his debut, I think he played like 3 professional matches, and he was literally throwing English players around. It was fun.
If you don't know what we're talking about,
go and just check that.
We need to put this in here somewhere.
Yeah.
But the highlight of Zach running around, throwing English players over, bold, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's on our socials. So go and check out the more than just sort of socials. That for me, that small moment, and the scrummaging as well. But I just think that when they first brought in, I was a bit surprised, inverted commas. But now I just don't see how you leave him out.
No doubt. In my mind.
So who do you leave out?
No. Well, stick
Sorry.
You can't help yourself. No, so it's a very good question. But Ren, I'd love to know your side. So from the game, your top moment, what's on repeat in your head?
Damien.
Oh,
Damien. Can Damien just...
can the real Damien please stand up?
Oh my goodness.
No, listen, Damien Willemse's performance for me, I mean, phenomenal just from start to finish and just, don't have to labour the point too much, but he was phenomenal. And I just think there's a lot of leadership, you know, opportunities that, you know, that he actually takes on when he actually talks to the other players, and you don't always see that on TV. But he's phenomenal. Yeah, Damien Willemse, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, his performance was a
That's
worldie.
it.
It was, with that first, you know what, when he caught that first high ball, I thought, oh, he's in form. He's on, like, this game, yeah.
I mean, Dave Rennie talked about he had to try and pick between the 2 best 15s in the world, and Damien McKenzie and Will Jordan.
Nonsense.
And I'm sorry, my early call, I said this last year, I said if Damien Willemse stays fit for this entire international season, we will see him on a World Player of the Year nomination. And I think if he plays like this weekend, he's a Player of the Year. I think he is absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the best players we've ever produced. Yeah. I just don't see, and what I see in the Watchalong, I don't name an aspect of his game which lets him down. Look at that 50-22.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, 22-22.
Literally, I mean, from the back there, we're actually under pressure. He turns around and says, cool, we'll have a line inside your 22. Didn't miss a beat under the high ball. No. I spoke about it was such a nice little moment. I said, you know, because I said this in the Watchalong, I said that, you know, his defense is so good. And there was literally that break where, again, he reeled him in, made the tackle. He could just do it all. Yeah. And now he's at 12 this weekend. Yeah. I'm frothing.
No, that got me so excited. I saw the post when it went up on the Forever Sports socials there, the team sheet, and I saw Damien at 12, and I thought, oh, this is very, very exciting.
Especially because going into the Scotland game, you know, the Tupelotta up against Damien, that combination, that matchup. Scotland, though, Have we underestimated them in terms of what we saw this weekend? I mean, how impressed were you of Scotland going to? We spoke a bit about it on Rugby Unlocked, but maybe surprised with the result of the weekend to a certain degree.
Yeah, positively surprised. You want, your C team combinations to carry through to national. So I think Damien against Tuipulotu is not going to be the first time they've come face to face. Stormers have done that. Tuipulotu obviously playing for Edinburgh, so that's Glasgow. So that's obviously been something that has happened. So yeah, quite really pleased and chuffed about that Scottish performance. Pleased in the sense that we'll obviously see a lot of South Africans coming, back home and saying hi to mum and dad, and also just enjoying, playing against some former Craven Week, talking about Craven Week, players and teammates. Yeah, very excited about this weekend's game.
Yeah, it's always cool when we see all our the ex-Saffers coming back and playing down here.
Absolutely, they're going to miss, or they're enjoying the biltong, yeah, so it's lekker.
Did you see that clip of, is it Benso, when the South African national anthem was on?
Yes,
and he was in the stands. And
trying not to sing
Yeah,
it.
and there was, a camera on him. And I mean, fair play, because it's just instinct. And it will be instinct for him. And it's, that's a position I don't envy, but it's the position he's in. But Renzo, tell us then, with that Scottish performance, do you feel like, because I feel like Scotland is always so hot and cold, like I feel like they're really struggling to get that consistency. So I put them in a group of like an Argentina, maybe Italy sneaking in at the bottom of that group, hot, cold, even a Japan. So, I mean, Scotland will want to start producing consistent results, winning results. How do they do that? What do you think is the one or two things that actually allow Scotland to just settle and start consistently winning or getting close to that winning mindset?
Yeah, I mean, 47 play 38 at the end of the day, the scoreline there. So I think they obviously just need to keep on, playing positive in terms of scoring. So I think their scoring ability has always been great. So I think they sometimes in the past, they've gone into a bit of a defensive block where they're trying to just play conservative, trying to set up, breakdowns, trying to kick contestables, but not necessarily contest to retain possession, but just receive it back. So there's a lot of, I think, that mindset change that have taken place. Just maybe looking at it, the tries in the 18th minute they scored, then 23rd, then 36, just before, 3 tries first half, then coming out guns firing, 52nd minute try scored, 56 try scored, 69 try scored, and then just tries all the time.
Yeah, and they kind of get into that rhythm sometimes. They did against France. Once they start scoring, they really can.
But is it a bit of a glass cannon then? Because like they're scoring, but they're conceding, right? Because I think it was a very similar score to that France game, where they just blew out and went ahead. But then France managed to reel them back. So is the Scottish defence, Devo, something that they need to look at?
Yeah, it is. And they're up against a team that scores 40 points this weekend. I think that is always their big problem, is the fact that they just do ship too many points. But I suppose it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Very few teams, and I think the Boks are on the same kind of thing, very few teams can score 50, 60 points and play a very open and sometimes risk inverted commas orientated game without inevitably conceding points. The more we've taken risks, the more we've conceded points. Poor Jerry Flannery was under so much pressure in the last year or two, in this first year especially, because we were shipping a lot of points. We were also scoring a lot of points. So I suppose it's a bit of a necessary evil. If you want to be expansive, you want to score lots of points, you're kind of going to open yourself up to conceding.
No, absolutely. So wrapping up the breakdown there, just a quick take on the week. We understand, again, a lot of rugby, a lot of sports, have a lot of responsibilities going on. Maybe you weren't able to watch all of the games. That's why you have us. That's why you have here the Mad podcast and show. So hopefully that gives you some context about the week that has just happened. Los Pumas will be very sad, obviously, but we'll talk about them a bit more later with the result. But that was it. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to get ready for the next segment.
Welcome to the mall, people. And every week we're going to do something a bit different. And I thought with this weekend, we've got Scotland here. So we're going to do a tier list.
Fantastic. Love a tier
list.
Love a tier list.
National anthems.
This is going to get
so we're going to basically, I've got a Six Nations and a Rugby Championship.
Okay, 10 teams.
The ones that we've all seen. So we've got 10 teams. We've got 4 tiers. We've got the GOAT tier. We've got Test Match Standard. We've got Club Rugby. And then we've got Super Rugby Pacific as the worst one. Which I think is fair these days. Super Rugby minus the South African teams.
Just horrendous. But accurate, fair.
Yeah, well, if you're a Super Rugby Pacific fan and Stan, jump in the comments. But So, and the main thing is people go to try and have it reasonably distributed. So, yeah, unfortunately, some of the anthems are going to have to go there. We're going to start with Ireland, which obviously they kind of sort of have two in Ireland, the likes of that. But, you know, shoulder to shoulder, Ireland standing tall. Where we putting that? We can't have to start too heaty, eh?
It's a pretty solid couple of anthems. I think the two thing throws me, and I don't know the political reasons for that. Actually, I do, and it's very sensitive to North and South. We don't want to cause any issues just immediately. But for me, it's a solid anthem. You know what I mean? Like I'm humming along. Like, you know, I don't know how we got away with this, but where I went to school, we just co-opted that anthem.
Lots of people like schools.
Right, cool. Not just us. I don't feel so bad then.
Yeah.
So, you know, it resonates with me on just a different level. So it's definitely not GOAT. I'm telling you that.
No. Let's not go far.
But for me at the moment, I'm between club rugby and test match standard. Ren, where are you coming in for Ireland's national anthems?
Oh, it's interesting because, you know, experiencing it is something different. You get chills down your spine. So I do think it's borderline for me. GOAT and test match. I think it's.
I think test match standard is a fair. We can tweak this depending on how we kind of look over here. But I've got at least 2 or 3 in my mind which are going to really compete for GOAT. So.
Okay, cool. But they've got a couple of good things.
Let's put a test match standard there for a bit.
All right.
And then we'll move on to Argentina. So. Argentina, it's a bit of a weird anthem, isn't it? I mean, it's quite fast. It's obviously got the music interlude and then the singing part's about 20 seconds. The biggest problem, again, is that the Argentinians are such emotionally passionate people that we suddenly see them crying after the anthem, and I start really worrying about the 80 minutes of rugby to come. Where are we at with this one?
I don't know. For me, there's nothing that sits there for me. So I'm between club rugby and Super Rugby Pacific, to be honest with Argentina. I mean, it is passionate. It's short, sharp, and sweet. The singing part, because you're right, there's this musical interlude that goes on for a while. So I think that for me, it doesn't resonate. Bren?
Also, kind of feels a little bit like it's like a long intro. I think also lack of understanding sometimes gives us a different perspective. So I think club. I don't necessarily think Super Rugby without South Africa, but yeah, club for me, yes.
Okay, well let's go. Let's go with club. And we have to knock it down later. Then we can. Right, Australia.
Sorry, for me, club, and actually for me, straight club, or for me specifically. Sorry.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't think it's an anthem that. No. Yeah, if I think about, and I think that will maybe be where I am with my GOAT. Is there's certain anthems I want to go and experience in the stadium. I definitely don't sit there going, I need to go experience the Australian national anthem in Australia.
I don't know, Wes.
No, I'm with you. For me, that I probably resonate more with the Argentinian anthem than with the Australian one.
So we're going Super Rugby Pacific here.
100%. Let them go where they belong.
Yeah, there we go. You know what? They're at the bottom of Super Rugby Pacific and now at the bottom
used to being down under. There we go.
No disrespect, Australia.
No disrespect, but your anthem is trash.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what your anthem, means and who wrote it. I don't know.
Get in those comments.
The next one over here this is a touching point for me because I think I've heard this anthem about more than 4,000 times because the French don't have songs like the English do, for example. They don't sing Change the Laws like we do. All they do during games is sing this anthem. So during France, you'd be watching Italy versus New Zealand. All you'd hear is the national anthem being sung about 4 or 5 times. So I've heard this anthem probably maybe too many times. Look, it is. When I did watch France in Lyon, it was cheapers, okay.
Yeah.
But it's quite an empty anthem when you start translating the words as well. It's the blood of my enemies will scatter upon the fields, the likes of that. So it's quite emotive. Where are we at with this one?
So I'm curious to see what your exposure to it, where that puts you. For me, I think it's up there. It's test match. It might even be bordering on GOAT. Like it is just such a powerful anthem. I don't know any of the translations. Even with that ignorance, it again just sits there for me. Have you guys seen that clip of the the nuclear submarine being launched by France, and they sing the national anthem.
No.
It's in this. If you've not seen this,
I have not seen that. I would not like to see
No,
that.
you must. No, you must. We'll get the clip out to you guys because it is this. It feels like a sci-fi movie. They're in this massive indoor hangar. The sub is suspended above the water. They're singing the national anthem. There's reverb going on. Chills. So yeah, I'm swayed. I do think it is a good anthem. For me, test match. I can't quite put it in GOAT.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I wouldn't put it in GOAT. It's kind of been ruined by me because I just heard it so many times. Sorry, Fred. I appreciate the 38 days I spent there, but I didn't hear it too often. Really? Are you in test match?
Straight test.
Test match. I think test match.
Straight
It
test,
is an emotive anthem.
And now, just for those who are unfamiliar with tier lists, you can rank within a standard, right? So, for example, we've got Ireland and France there. So to the left is better, to the right is worse. So just quickly, while we've got them there, are we putting the French above the Irish
I
anthems?
would, personally.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
You guys are maybe a bit more French inclined there. I still think Ireland is up
You
there.
think so? No, I'm going. I think there's 2-1 here, Ren. Sorry, bud.
No, it's all good.
I was going to say caused a quick boxing match between the two of you, but let's be a little bit less violent. Okay, so France going.
Is that because of the French anthem?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, New Zealand.
Ren, you kick us off.
Yeah, club level.
Yeah, I really don't.
It's true because I felt like club was disrespectful, but then I realized I'm not rating the team and their rugby; it's the anthem, you know. I think a solid club, and I think below Argentina for me, to be honest. I think the passion, you know.
Because do we include their haka as part of the anthem?
no,
It's
no,
not, right?
no, just the anthem,
Just for
just the
clarification.
Yes. No, just the anthem. If we start throwing in huckers and the likes of that, then we can start the England. Well, it changes. It's changed for the first time in the last couple of years, and I've got to say the king.
Super Rugby Pacifica.
I like how quickly you were to go down there.
It just, you know, it's the king. It doesn't talk about the country, doesn't talk about the beauty of the nation.
You're not a royalist, are you?
No, definitely not a monarch. But it doesn't talk about anything other than one individual. And the country is so much bigger than that. And I feel like that is actually emblematic of what is sometimes the issue with English sports, is it's so individual driven instead of this team. Like the Springboks are the box. It's not Sia or Peter Steff or whatever, it is box. But who are the English? Henry Pollock? Jamie George?
It was Owen Farrell for a while.
Owen Farrell?
Well, it's ever since it's not been Owen Farrell's when they've gone downhill. No, I'm happy Super Rugby Pacific. We've also just dispatched them. They are going to confiscate my passport, but
I think below the old prison colony there.
oh, that's controversial. We'll throw those two together, and then people in the comments can start having their own little battle.
Perfect.
Italy.
Are you allowed to comment on this, or are you too biased? Like, are you going to be able to be objective, or?
Hey! I just invested. It's even there. This jersey over here was a big purchase. I said I was gonna buy one team's jersey of the World Cup.
For me,
I'm a club rugby.
Club rugby.
I don't think it's.
Nah, Pacifica.
You're at Pacific.
like,
No, I just think that it's, again, similar to the Argentinian one. I think there's a lot of just instruments and just music and no words yet, and then we wait, and then this, and then that, and no, get on with it. 3 minutes down the line.
This is very. You're quite passionate about this.
this is the most revved. Oh, whoa, there it is. Okay, well, it's so either bottom of club rugby or top of Super Rugby Pacifica.
Okay,
Right?
bottom club rugby I'll go with.
Bottom of club
Let's go
rugby.
bottom club rugby. And now we're getting into. I don't know. Actually, this happened quite by accident because I think now we're getting to the big ones. Because I would like to throw in my first go-to nomination. Flower of Scotland is a bucket list thing for me. That at Murrayfield with the piper on the top of the stadium, the bagpipes. I mean, did you watch the World Cup? I don't know if you've seen the World Cup clips of it.
Yes.
Of the FIFA World Cup in Boston and stuff like that. I think Flower of Scotland is superb. I'm actually very oblique. I'm not going to be there this weekend to hear it, even just at Loftus.
Yeah. No, it's I echo ditto. Flower for me is a goat. Yeah. I've got the song in bagpipes on Spotify. Like, it's
There we go.
unbelievable.
It's a weird niche thing that we've tapped into to raise a Spotify. But Ren, you agreeing with that or?
Nope. For me, Hen Vlad Vachte. Guys, come on.
We can have more than one in
For
GOAT
me,
status.
there's-
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Scotland.
And that's my counter argument is the following. For me, there's only two GOATs in that category there. South Africa and the Welsh, Scotland as much, and they for me go first test.
First and test my standard.
that
It's
is-
going to be hard. It's going to be heartbreaking to do it. I mean, I'm kind of getting where you are because I agree that.
And can I just read you the first two lyrics and I'll translate for you. This old country of my fathers is dear to me. A land of poets, singers, famous celebrities. He's brave warriors.
knows we're on the
great-
Scottish anthem here.
I am just saying how to debunk why.
Well, yeah, but
I
it can
think-
also be
I'm
in the
just
GOAT
saying,
standard.
I'm just saying.
Yet.
I'm just saying.
I mean, do we just put the all three at the top of the GOAT tier and
Well,
just say?
I think that's it, but we've got to rank it within the GOAT
I
tier.
do apologize, guys. I
don't
just-
know, love it, but I don't know. For me, Flower, and Steve, for you, Flower is
I
top.
think it's brilliant.
I think we can have it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see where the other
Okay,
two go.
cool,
all right.
Sorry,
Okay.
They're going GOAT tier, people, and nobody at me. But
Yeah.
the Millennium
Don't.
Stadium as well, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal anthem.
But just on Ren's point there, like with the translations, again, contrasting with the English, it's talking about this land of my fathers, like the history. It's the land, family, dear to me, like personally. Like you cannot get more evidence of the difference between the English and the Welsh. Like,
Yeah,
in those
And
anthems.
anthem as well.
Have you? So I've experienced it when we played Cardiff there, and so there was I don't know, I think they were playing Italy, to be honest. I think that's maybe why. And we experienced it. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, no,
We are at the Principality.
I'm very jealous. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
Those two. If I could, honestly, if they said, right, you only got 2 games to go to in thing, Scottish game and a Welsh game, and I want to see the Six Nations.
I think probably one of the most watched games probably will be Scotland against Wales, and I think just from that perspective, people enjoying.
That's a good way. That's how I can tick it off from the bucket list. We'll just go and watch once at the same stadium.
Ella.
Yeah, okay. So I'm happy to put Wales in GOAT tier
and above Scotland.
and above Scotland. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So ahead of I'm with you, Ren.
And then.
No, all good.
I mean, come on. And then we can't not put us in GOAT tier. And deserved.
We're going to get rinsed. Do you think so? So obviously I think so, objectively. I mean, I'm Mr. Objective from last week's episode, right? I consistently like giving both sides. This is without a doubt GOAT tier for me. And at the front, because what other anthem has 5 languages, right? Blending the Rainbow Nation, bringing the people together of different diversity, and the fact that it started out as like a meme, the fact that the Afrikaans part got louder.
Yeah.
But everyone has just bought into it now. And when that sort of part hits, how that volume just turns up.
I mean, one of the greatest anthem moments was when the Loftus PA system failed.
My favorite clip.
And then the crowd just said, we got this, basically. So, it was South African, unashamed South African. I'm happy with that list, personally.
So are we saying South Africa GOAT in the GOAT tier?
Goat in the goat.
GOAT tier.
The Billy
Okay,
goat.
you guys have outvoted me, okay?
You were going to go...
Wales,
Ren's fishing for a Welsh passport.
100%.
He is. Hey, that's it's been lovely having you on.
I know, thank you so much.
Well, that was the mall. Stick around to see if Ronaldo is here for the next segment.
Right, guys, we are coming to probably what is my favorite segment, which is the Mall of Fame. So last week, if you remember, we had a clip from a local rugby club, Pirates Rugby, of that prop putting in a massive body shot, I think on the number 8 of the opposing team,
Correct.
right? Who looked like he was going to have a storm of a run, and that props had other ideas. And he did this little shimmy afterwards, which was brilliant. If you've not seen that clip, go check out last week's episode's part of the Mall of Fame. It's a fantastic little segment that we're going to see. But this week, we've got a whole new clip, right? Because the idea is what we want to do is we want to create a leaderboard, right? Like a Hall of Fame. We want to have a series of clips, rugby clips from international games to local club rugby of just the greatest and the worst rugby moments that have been captured on film. So what we're going to do is there's a little bit of maths, sorry, right? But luckily we have someone, okay, I'm not going to name names, but someone who's in the top 1%, right, of maths lit in South Africa with us today. So if we do get lost, they'll be able to help us. Isn't that right, Stephen?
Yeah.
Hey, Cutting my way up to the top of certain leaderboards.
That was awesome because I know you looked at me there. I'm like, let's all look at Steve at the same time.
Well, just tell us what's the score.
Okay. All right, here we go. So it's quite simple. If you think the score's, the video is not that good, it's a penalty. It's 3 points, right? So you're going to give it 3 points. If you think it's a pretty decent clip,
what's our qualifying criteria? So, for example, if something's bad, are we saying that that's only going to be a low tier point scorer?
yeah, I think it's like what emotions, what does that make you feel? What do you think that clip is worth? Is it a penalty? Is it 3 points? If you think it's a bit better, solid clip there, but it's not quite getting your juices flowing, it's going to be just a try, 5 points. And if you think, my goodness, this thing gets me excited, right, in all the right and wrong ways, then it's going to be a converted try, right? So that's 7 points, okay? So basically 3, 5, and 7. And the idea is effectively, we will all give it a rating. Producer James will give it a rating as well, and we'll total those ratings. Are you with me so far? Everyone on board? I know, I'm sorry, it's a bit of math.
It's the scientists coming out.
Okay, but
I was going to ask, Steve, are you there?
I'm there.
Fantastic.
Oh,
He's
awesome.
ready. Okay. So I was a teacher for a little bit, right? And what we would have is we would have canary students. And the idea is if your canary student got it, everyone else did. So as long as Steve's on board, we're okay. All right. So.
Lovely. It's lovely.
Okay.
Lovely.
So we're going to have effectively 4 separate scores, right, from the 4 people in the room or in the studio. What we really love you guys to do is get involved and give us your rating as well. So across all the social media platforms, wherever we can, we're going to put a poll out with the associated clip, and we want us to give your score. Is it a penalty, 3 points? Is it a try, 5 points? Or is it a converted try, 7 points? And what we'll do is we'll take your score, we'll add it to all of ours, and then we're going to get this total for the clip, and we're going to have a running board. Okay, I promise you it makes sense. I've tested it. I've done dummy data. I've done the spreadsheets. It looks pretty cool. All right, we just need to get this going. Right, Steve, we ready for our Mall of Fame? Right.
Canary.
Give me the numbers. Show me the.
All right, let's see the clip.
Show me the money. Show me the
I
money.
believe this is USA versus Portugal. This is the
correct.
from.
Yeah. So let's have a
You're
look.
welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
So there's the USA in white, scrumming, mauling towards the try line.
good to see them all back. It's nice.
Good to see them all. There they go. Over the try line they are, and
not.
out.
He even reaches out.
So he's jumped over the dead ball line there. And I think we're going to need to see that again, because the best or the worst part of that clip for me is the player's face when he turns around and looks up and puts his arm in the air.
And
Disbelief.
Look at the
Disbelief.
teammates who are going like what?
Yeah, it is just a sight to behold. Really solid maul from the US.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's about 15 odd meters now.
And at what point here do you think, does no one go,
Like tap, he does. You can see the number 6 does
Yes.
basically say, "Hey,
Do you then tackle your player there and then just tackle him and get to the ground, boy?
that is quite something. Now, I know, we've all not quite been there and obviously at that level. But
tries? No,
no.
the back of a mall, you're mad."
Yeah, exactly. But I'll admit, in my glory days, I maybe put a few down on the 5 meter, so.
Short.
Yeah, I know exactly. No, it was not my finest.
Was there like a
moment.
dive and everything?
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I had to do it with Philly. But
We've got to go look at those footage.
yeah, I think my dad filmed all the
Try and find
games,
it,
so
yeah.
it's out there. That's a.
I think that will probably be the most epic clip that
Yeah, Mr. Hartman's about to give us a clip to go on the top of the Mall of Fame.
100%.
Okay,
So we're gonna give it a ranking now.
let's do it. Okay, so exactly. So what I'd like you to do, gents, your thoughts on this. Is it a penalty, 3 points? Is it a try, 5 points? Or is it a converted try, 7 points? Steve?
I'm at a try. I've never seen this before.
Right.
I've seen people go short, but I've never seen them
Go long.
walk over the try line. And then, I've seen people being tackled over the line, people losing the ball over the line. He basically had 10 meters to score the easiest try of his life and just didn't. And then reached out for it. That's what also killed me. If he just fell, he might have even been able to have just done it. It's the dive towards the... no, I'm at a 5.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's the inexperience of not scoring tries. We call this white line fever.
Malcolm Martin's not making that mistake.
No, because like I said earlier, you ask yourself the question, whose fault is it actually? Because normally people that know when to score tries from balls know you go 5 steps, if you go past this, you normally fall down. So this guy clearly, you're a little bit ill-experienced there. So I'm also going to, I think, side with the 5. I think, it's quite, it's actually disheartening, quite sad. Imagine that, working so hard to score more try. The most talked about set phase in rugby, you go circles down, and then you get it wrong.
You decimated them as well.
No, it's something to behold. Okay, so we've got 5 and 5. I'm going to go with a 3. That's a penalty for me. Yeah, I think, it is shocking. It is sad to see, but it's just not that exciting for me. So, and in terms of that, you just hoped there would have been more there that could have got him down over the line before.
I'm just saying that it seems that there are people out there who don't know where to score a try line, and they've read it further down the US pipeline than you did, Wes. So maybe that's why we had 3 points.
Yeah, I'm just salty, actually. I had a chance, I didn't make it.
Did you phone them and say, listen, if you guys hear someone scoring the wrong try line, I could have done it.
I could have been your guy. Yeah, no disrespectful to the player. We've all been in the moment there where there's a lot going on. He's in between a lot of bodies. But no, that particular clip for me is just not.
I'm pretty sure the scrum after that was probably brutal because they came back firing after that. So, the US.
And they did go on to win the game, so congrats to the Eagles there. I think they just pipped it with a last-minute kick as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to get producer James to give us his score at some point, and then over the course of this week, guys, please make sure you are engaging in those polls. Give us your thoughts. Do you think it's a penalty, a try, a converted try, 3, 5 or 7 points? And we will see next week what the total score is and where this starts to go on our the Mall of Fame.
Right, chaps, welcome to the next phase. Brought to you by My Picks, and week 1 was an interesting results over here. So we're going to get through the results, then we're going to do our picks for this coming week. And if you guys have not, please go to mypicks.app, go and submit your predictions. We will be publishing a public league, and we want you guys to be the extra player on the board. So at the moment, we have got myself, Wes, and producer James, who's in the background. And then we've added Ronaldo, seeing as he has made a return from last week. But interesting week, and interesting, quite close to the top, and quite a drop at the bottom. We'll start with producer James. Who's in 4th place there?
That would be Wes.
Wes?
11 points.
With 11 points.
Oh, chaps, not my finest outing. As I said earlier, very difficult to tell teams not on form, and, it was a poor showing. It was a poor showing.
Yeah, you're spot on. Sorry about that, buddy.
You're spot on. There's not much more to say.
I mean, the good news is in 3rd place?
That would be Producer James.
Producer James. With 19. It was a very difficult week, Wes.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
It's actually 2 scores,
No form to work with and stuff like that.
So it's a converted try and something else that gets me there. Gee whiz.
That is very interesting, producer James.
Big gap.
And then
full 8.
And then 2nd place?
Second, first is controversial.
It's not controversial at all. 2nd place is Ronaldo with?
I'm first.
24.
So I think we need to discuss this.
No, wait. Can I just literally clarify this up? There cannot be a controversial comment made by a producer and then someone else tries to debunk it. What do you think, Wes?
There definitely can be. Also, I've used the wrong thing. Yeah.
No, I think we should just, because, Stephen, now the way you've set this up, clearly you are number 1.
Correct. How many points?
25.
25.
But now, that 25th point is such an interesting thing for me.
Because, and maybe we put it out to you guys, because someone, Stephen, didn't lock in all his picks. So if you look on my picks, he's not got.
Actually, if you look at my picks, it's there. It pays to have the platform.
This is corruption. You start calling him Trump.
So
it doesn't help that you literally did forget to do one of the games.
Yeah, well, at least I'm honest about it. Like, I'm taking it. I'm owning it.
Maybe at this stage, Wes, we could go and change and give you the exact result. I'm still not sure that you're catching this over here.
As a guest, though, you've got to be common. Your common courtesy is a very important thing. What actually happened? Because I hear speculation. What actually happened? Do you want to tell us?
In the midst of doing and prepping for the Watchalong, I might have missed the lockout.
Did you hear the violin in the
So
back?
you missed the lockout.
TBC.
No, you missed it.
So you missed the lockout. So
So,
you missed
so
the
that
lockout.
means you don't have that in.
We locked it in on Thursday. We put that exact prediction in, and that's,
No,
that's
Not
the
on my
thing.
picks.
If you on my
So-
picks miss one, what happens to you guys? Tell us a little bit in the comment section.
Get
what
a hold
happens
of
to
the
you.
contact.
Corruption is
the
only
support.
bad if I'm not involved.
If I'm involved,
If I'm involved, corruption is fine.
I support it.
Week 2, people. Wes, you need a big showing here. So you're going to get the first. In fact, maybe we shouldn't give you the first pick because that's what happened last week. Maybe we need to give you all the help you need. Ronaldo, I'm going to give you first pick. And first up, we have.
Yeah, first up, we've got New Zealand against Italy there. I'm going 57 New Zealand, 17 Italy. A good 40 points
40
difference
points.
there. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be a very big scoring margin, and I think New Zealand will come out guns blazing. A lot of changes here and there, but yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go next. I'm going to go at 47 points to 15.
So I
also
just,
think.
Yeah, 57 for me, 17. Just
Yeah.
You go 47,
45. Sorry, about 47, 15.
47, 50.
Yeah.
Okay, very tight. I'm going to go even a bit further. I think the All Blacks will even click more in that second week. So I'm going to give them 60. Right, I'm going to get the 60 there.
You're just tactically going as high as you can. to try
Well,
and-
I just think, it's given the form now, because now we've seen around recent
right,
form.
okay,
So I'm
okay.
going to go 60, and I think the Italians do get on the board. I'm going to go 60-22.
60-22. Okay, and producer James got lockers in the background. That's where it's quite fun. We get to see what he predicted over there. Taking up, we've got.
Yeah, fair enough. Then we've got the Australians hosting the French team. So that's obviously going to be a nice, tough one. So maybe from my side, I think the Australians are going to come on a bit short there. France will beat them by 9. So I go 42 for France, 33 to Australia.
It's a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So-
No, I do think it's high scoring, but yeah. I think
Okay, where's?
Right, I'm going to go, the French, I think, are going to pip them again. I just think Oz was showing good signs of improvement, but not enough just to quite beat the French, and the French will come out swinging. They'll be hurt from last week.
Yeah.
I don't see it being that high scoring. We know the French can score, but I think, the Australians, they were looking pretty good in defense. So let me wrap that up. I think it's going to be, 30, it's going to be close, 30-23, one try.
For France.
For France, 30-23.
I'm also going to go French win. I'm going to go, and we'll have to get the cats in here on the prediction. I'm going to go 26 points to 14. I think Carter Gordon being ruled out for Australia could be a big. This is going to be. I'm going to throw my differentiated pick. This is either going to go very badly or very, very well for me. But I've got to try and find some space between myself, Ronaldo, and I've got points to play with when it comes to Wes.
That's fine. Don't call it a hustle.
Yeah.
So
Next up.
Yeah, next up, Japan is hosting Ireland, so that's also going to be a nice and tight one.
Wes, you have to give us a prediction first.
Yeah, where's you go first?
Okay,
Sorry.
prediction first. I think the Irish will take it, even
And
though
it
Japan's
doesn't
in
have to
good
be
form.
a novel yet. We just need. Stop trying to justify this. Because
I'm actually trying to think.
that's the problem. I'm hearing a lot of justification for a score that didn't really justify the justification.
It's true. Yeah. Okay. So I think Ireland are going to take it. I think they're going to score quite nicely. I'm going to go 37. I think Japan do as well. 37-27, 10-point margin.
37-27.
Sure, Steve, maybe you go next.
I think Ireland have got a lot to prove, and I think that physically, I think they're going to outmuscle. At least
hello.
Can we just say that was cheating? But okay,
at least you can back
Just lock
up.
it in this time.
please,
Just
You know that even before that, I'll still double your points. I'm going to go big score line here. I'm going to go Ireland 40, Japan 18.
yeah, I think that's a pretty fair one as well. I went 39 to Ireland, 17 to Japan.
So we're quite close there.
Yeah,
And
22
clearly
points.
collusion.
Yeah, fair enough,
collusion.
100%.
Then I believe we are into.
The next one. Yeah. So then we've got the next one on. Then we've got Fiji that is hosting England in England.
England,
Phenomenal one there. I don't know. Do you want to go again? Yeah, Steve, you go kick us off there,
It's quite an
please.
interesting one, isn't it? I think England get the job done here.
Yeah,
They have to get the job done here. I'm going to go 28-12.
Oh, that's interesting. Wes, you next?
Yeah, no, I mean, how lovely would it be for a Fijian win? But I do think the English get it done at home. Well, small H. I'm going to say, England score a few points. I'm actually saying England click quite nicely. I'm going to say 40 points. The Fijians, we know they can score from anywhere, but not quite as much as England, 40-17.
Oh, very interesting there. I'm going to go 47 to England, 21 to Fiji. I think they'll get a couple of tries in. But yeah, that's it, yeah. Okay, you want to go the next one, the big one.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
that we're all
Correct.
waiting for. So we've got South Africa that obviously host Scotland. So I don't know, should I go maybe first on mine there?
Yeah, throw it out
absolutely.
there.
I think South Africa is going to go 47, and I think Scotland will also score a couple of good tries, 31. So I think there's a tight one there. So Scotland 31, South Africa 47.
I'm going to go 36-20.
For whom?
For whom?
No, it's an important thing.
say
So we
it.
have it on camera, otherwise you can just change it later.
It's important you lock in your things on my
Exactly.
36
Yeah,
points to 20, box to win, Edwin van der Merwe on the score sheet.
No,
You
well,
can't add that into my picks, but I'm going to throw that in. It's a bit of free wisdom out there for you.
So I'm gonna let's see if we can keep the Bok 40 plus score going. So I think the Boks can get above 40. I'm going to give them 43. I do think the Scots get on the board. So I'm going to say 43-15.
Okay, very interesting. Very
And
interesting.
then to wrap us up,
Yep, we've got the last one there, Argentina, that obviously host Wales. I think I'm going for 35 to Argentina. I do think Wales will come up short, 27. So it's a very tight game for me, but yeah, that's
yeah,
my
I'm going to
pick.
go slightly low. I'm going to go 30 points to 14. I think.
Okay.
I don't know what to read into that Welsh performance over the weekend, but I think that I think if Argentina are up for it, I don't think the Wales get that many points.
Just lock it in again, please. Where's
I'm going to go slightly different. I'm going to back the Welsh here. Right?
Awesome.
That's a huge shout.
That's a huge
That
shout.
is a trading by 4 team need to make up some points shout.
that is?
Watch this space. So I reckon Wales are going to get it done. I think they are going to get it done by 27, and Argentina is going to be around 18.
Well
27,
done.
18.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right, well, there we go. That was the next phase. Brought to you by MyPicks. Make sure you go and get your picks locked in on mypicks.app. Go and join our league. We want to make sure that we will pick the best, highest performing score every week and see where they're at. And you can kind of give us a bit of a barometer as to where we are. Gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another mad show. A big shout out to Ronaldo for coming through.
Yeah.
Wes, thanks for bringing the vibes, the 11-point vibes. And big games this weekend. Hopefully we'll be chatting about some more victories and some more points. Ronaldo, I will see you on Sunday on Rugby Unlocked as we basically educate the audience and tell everybody about what is going on with Rassie Erasmus and his players. Wes, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. The Mad Show, More Than Disorder, dropping every single Wednesday, exclusively on Forever Sports. Make sure you go and follow us on the socials as well on The Mad Show. And let us know your suggestions, comments, and get involved in the Mall of Fame poll as well across all our socials, as well as on YouTube in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe on the way out, and we'll see you soon.
So what of this for England? Great score by Scotland.
Another surge from France.
That's what New Zealand can do.
Oh, look at South Africa go!
Great strike back from Wales.
And away come Australia.
Italy are improvising. Numbers queuing up for Ireland.
It's a brilliant try from Fiji.
It's absolutely perfect.
Oh my goodness.
For destiny! Oh, the beauty!
The chase is on.
Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome to Forever Sports. And are we ready? Kickoff in just less than an hour, and big game coming up for the Boks. And it's amazing how I think some people, not all people, but as the week's gone on, we've started to sort of realize that there's a lot riding on this game in terms of a Scotland side that's not to be underestimated. And very, very interestingly as well, there is officially a late change. Another injury within the Bok camp, with confirmation that Canan Moodie will miss this afternoon's clash, and as a result, Ethan Hooker has come in his place. A straight swap on the wing, and big opportunity. Ethan Hooker, somebody we thought we'd only see come the All Blacks in August, but has been declared fit, was supposed to make his comeback next week against Wales, but has been drafted in as a late inclusion into the lineup due to the injury of Canan Moodie, who will not start on the left wing as Rassie Erasmus's injury woes kind of continue. The good news is, what a replacement to be able to bring on, and very interesting to sort of see exactly where Ethan Hooker is going to be. You know, he hasn't played a match since that injury, you know, where he obviously dislocated a shoulder and will now be coming in against a very good Scottish side and against two very good wings in form. Carl Steyn, Carl Rowe, good players that will definitely test him as well. So it's going to be interesting to sort of see exactly how he plays, how the Boks cope without Moody, and kind of maybe if there might be a bit of a shift in exactly what to expect when we take to the park in just over 45 minutes time. People, let's start getting involved on the comments, shall we? I need an early check-in. Let's start checking in. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who you're supporting. Are you donning the rugby jersey of either the green and gold or the blue of the Scots? Always had very nice jerseys, have the Scots. So by all means, grab your Scottish jersey if you are a Scottish fan. And I think we're just in for a great game of rugby. You know, Finn Russell at 10, one of my favorite players to watch play rugby. And so, yeah, I think we're just going to be very, very lucky to see the kind of players are going to run out for Scotland, and hopefully we're going to get a pretty epic 80 minutes. But very interesting rugby over the day. We saw a very good game between France and Australia. Australia actually ahead until half-time before France put in a massive second half effort. Italy didn't manage to really push the All Blacks as much as they would have liked to. I'll tell you who did push their side. That was Japan, having a pretty good game against Ireland. Ireland getting over the line in the end, but by no means their best and most dominant performance. What has, however, been dominant is England have very much responded against Fiji. They're currently 54 points to 8 up, and lots to think about from a Fijian point of view, especially given that the chairman of their rugby union came out and slammed them about the performance and said that it has to get better and it's unacceptable to be playing at this kind of standard given the resources that Fiji have. And I think he's not wrong necessarily in terms of the Fijian players they have, but the entire setup is very, very flawed. And I think that, a lot that some of these players and some of these administrators should be taking a lot of little flack about some of the systems that are currently within Fiji rugby. We're not here to talk about Fiji rugby, though. We are here to talk about Bok rugby. And I want you guys right now, let's start smashing that like button. Sitting on just 45 likes. Let's get that up to over 100 before kickoff. Got a couple of early score predictions going over there, and it is going to be James Nadi reckons Boks 43, Scotland 17, and Moy reckons Boks are getting up to 35 points. Ahmed's coming with Wales 27, Pumas 21. Very nice game to be able to watch tonight. Going to be a lacquer evening of sport as well. Got a bit of footy coming up later tonight as well. Is it coming home? England up against Norway. So plenty of sport to keep you entertained throughout the weekend, and I'll be with you for the next few years. Well, hopefully the next few years, but definitely the next few hours for the watch along. Interesting side that Rassie Erasmus has chosen, and also a side that has changed, as mentioned, with Ethan Hooker coming in. So we're going to go into the teams in a little bit and kind of pick apart some of the matchups and the likes of that. We'll also look at some of the predictions and kind of where we're all sitting over here. We'll have a look at my picks. If you have not already, go and check out my picks. Get mypicks.app. Go and register for it. Go and submit your score prediction. After the game, you can come join the player rating show as well and go and rate all the players. So make sure you get involved and enjoy the platform that we have for you. Before we get into the teams, we're going to have a little bit about look at what Rassie Erasmus had to say about the team that he has announced and kind of what the thinking was and the likes of that. After that, we'll look at some of the stats. We'll look at the two sides. And very, very shortly, we will have national anthems being sung out. And Loftus is the ground where very famously the PA system cut out that one time, and the crowd had to carry the anthem in what was actually become one of the most iconic moments in South African live sport. So lots to look forward to over there. But in the meantime, let's have a listen to what Rassie Erasmus had to say about his team earlier this week and exactly what he has to expect about the Scots.
Sia, Evan, and any of the others?
So I think, Evan will give him proper time. He had concussion. And he had a bit of a history on concussion, so I don't think Eben will play in his incoming matches. I think we're all targeting Argentina for that. So it's probably also. Luat might be ready next week. I think he's closer than the others. Ox, Ethan will be ready next week. Ethan Hooker will be available. Ox, Sasha, Krappies, all of them about 3 weeks before New Zealand will be ready. And did I miss somebody? Sia next week.
Ambrose, maybe you could just talk us through the emotions. I think
how you're feeling and just for your sense getting on?
Yeah, no, I think there's always nerves before a test match. But yeah, I'm super excited for the opportunity. And yeah, we're just looking forward to the game.
Ken and Cobus?
Rusty, just from your point of view, the man sitting next to you has kind of been in the wilderness for a while. What's changed? What have you seen that's coming back into the fold?
Well, firstly, I thought they played really well this season. My first year of coaching was 2018-19. I think I've probably got 8 caps now, I think. And I think most of that were at that stage. But then obviously, now I can say the word obviously, guys like Faf, Kobus, Jaden, a few of the guys, it was really well-established guys that played for us there. Even a guy like Herschel, was part of 2 World Cups, if I'm correct. So there were really a bunch of good nines playing really well. And sometimes it's not because one player is not playing well enough or not Springbok class. It is just because there's some other guys who's also playing really well. But I think none of us can look past the fact of how well he played this year. And then obviously there's a lot of some injuries, and there's some guys who lost form. And he gathered form, if I can call it that way. So yeah, I'm very happy for him personally, and obviously for us as the Springboks, it's nice to have him on board, and he gets his opportunity at home with Andre, where he's played a lot of rugby with. So hopefully that also helps him to, although he's got I think 8 or 9 caps, I'm not 100% sure. It's with somebody that is used to at a field which you are familiar with.
Rusty, you're surprised by Scotland beating the Pumas in Argentina on Saturday, and how much did that play a role in your team selection for Saturday's test?
No, Scotland, that didn't play a role at all. If we played the first match, Italy, and the second match, England, this team was not picked for specific reasons surrounding Scotland. It was for us to make sure that when we go into the World Cup next year, we know who can do what, when, and how, and under pressure and not under pressure. So some combinations were more picked with that in mind. Then Argentina, us, New Zealand, and Australia is probably in the same boat. And I think that's what happened to Argentina. Scotland played really well, I thought. They're obviously a good team. They beat England in the Six Nations. So if you just go on those results, then probably this match will be tougher than last weekend, if you want to compare it like that. But we didn't do that, and I thought you could see Argentina. Very few of their teams play in, or their players play in Argentina. They play in France and in England and in other countries and Japan and so on. And it's very tough in your first game. They didn't even have a warm-up game. They fly off, and their coach was a week before that in Port Elizabeth with the Barbarians. So that they would have had 3 training sessions, 5-10 training sessions together before they played against Italy. Not Italy, Scotland, and Scotland would have had a whole Six Nations. So the Southern Hemisphere teams normally take a game or two to get some good rhythm and cohesion.
Rassie, obviously you look at the team, there's a lot of changes, but I guess you're counting on the continuity from the Bulls, especially in the pack and at 9 and 10?
Yeah, 9 and 10, as I said, I think Andre can play with most 9s, and I think Ambrose can play with most 10s. But it is definitely beneficial when the 2 of them went through to a final together. They played against Glasgow. Glasgow beat them well, I think, the first time around, and then obviously they got the better of them later and vice versa. And yes, glad for them. The pack, not necessarily we looked at pools combinations. It was actually just seeing who's fit first of all, and then who we'd like to see perform well. I think it's the first time. I think our average caps, I quickly tried to estimate there. I think it must be like 25 caps. Our average for our caps, which is not a lot. There's 11, 12 guys that got less than 10 caps in it. So I think we will definitely go into this match with a much less experienced team compared to Scotland. So this will be a nice test for a lot of these guys to see when we get to the important part in the next year or two. Who of these guys are, and we think most of them, we won't have them here if we don't think they can do the job for us.
Rossi, just on Peter Stephen moving back to 7 and Paul de Villiers getting a second game in a row, just your thoughts on those selections as well, and just overall, what, given the marker that the team on Saturday put down, what you expect overall in performance from these guys?
Yeah, it would have been great to give Cameron also another run. I thought he also did. He had a steady performance. Obviously, Sia is still not available here. We know Peter's best position is 7 flank. Yeah, so it is nice to have him on 7 and to have giving Ivan a chance at 8. Sorry?
I was just saying, just with the market.
Yeah, no, the other guys played well. I mean, the score game was close at halftime, and they got 2 yellow cards at the end. When we got the yellow card, they came closer to us, and then when they got the 2 yellow cards at the end, we moved away from them. So I think one must calculate that also. That it was easier for us when they were 14 and 13 men, and it was easier for them when we were 14. But no, certainly I thought for the togetherness of the team really showed. Of course, that's normally, I know I'm repeating myself, but that's normally how, when we get to greatest rivalry or rugby championship, we are really in sync already and we've played a lot together. But it's really tough to all of a sudden in 7 months just play a game. That game is in the past now, and I think these guys this weekend will maybe have to find their feet really, really quickly in the game to, like the other team did, a quick start, a fast start, not necessarily a scoreboard start, but the intensity start, and hopefully they can do the same.
Rossi, over this past weekend, 54 tries were scored in this competition, 385 4 points. Initially you said you're not chasing log points, you're not chasing bonus points. Are you looking at it differently now, if you see how tight those games were and how high scoring they were?
Yeah, well, not because the other teams are high scoring. I did see the guys on, none of them were kicking for touch, and I'm not sure if it was log points that they were chasing or was it the momentum in the games. Interesting thing, I think there was more maul tries scored in this opening round than altogether in the Six Nations, if I have my stats correct. So I want to give World Rugby credit there. I thought all games was excellent with opening up that there's a contest with the guy in the air after a contestable kick. It's a nice competition there. I think what people thought it's going to just be all mauling, but because you can't drag in a maul anymore, you have to put more numbers into a maul, and then the guys who stop the maul now has to get out and defend after that. So there's definitely more mauling, but then after the mauling there's more tries because guys are tired of stopping mauls. You can't just put 4 guys in and drag a maul to the side. I think the scrum feet which World Rugby has introduced is getting a rewards where there's a good contest there and loose forwards must stay bound to make sure their props doesn't get scrummed back. So I think the product World Rugby is putting out by the law changes or the law adjustments or interpretations that they put out there, I think that played a big role. I think it was beautiful rugby in most of the games this weekend. I do think it's all of a sudden when you see a table after a first round in June, July, it's weird to see that, and then all of a sudden you go and see, okay, now net 2 points suddenly all of a sudden counts. That was in our mindset when we ran onto the field, but when you then have the 4 tries, you can also relax a little bit and play a territory game because you've got your 4 log points. It's not like Super Rugby or URC or other games where it's 3 tries and more. It's 4 tries and you got a bonus point. So, yeah, but still, when you go into a test match, you just want to win the test match because, yeah, if you disrespect that, you'll probably lose it, and then you might get a losing bonus point, or maybe 4 tries. So a win is still the thing that counts the most.
Cool. Vloggers off, and then Ross.
Right, so interesting things about Rassi and what he had to say about the team and the likes of that. We're going to look at the teams and kind of sort of start to pick it down a little bit. And kickoff is, by the way, is in half an hour. You can see the countdown there. So not long to go until we will have action underway over there at Loftus. And a couple of interesting predictions starting to sort of filter in. So if you have not seen it already, as mentioned, there is a change in the lineup. No Kane Moody. Ethan Hooker into the side in the number 11 jersey. And there we go. That's what we're supposed to be looking at. And it's a big call. It's a big call for somebody who's not played any rugby really in the last couple of months. To be perfectly honest, you know, that's how long Ethan Hooker's been kind of out. He's not been involved in the Sharks campaign since that injury, and this is his first opportunity. This is his first minutes at all. Didn't play against the Barbarians. Was only supposed to come back theoretically next weekend, but Rassie Rasmus has kind of thrown a bit of caution to the wind, I guess, and decided to give him a go. So, look, I suppose at the end of the day, you know, you don't know until you try it. But interesting to sort of see how this affects kind of the way Scotland were going to do things, given the fact that they would have, planned for Kane Moody and now are going to be facing an Ethan Hooker. And yes, there are obviously similarities about them, two pretty big physical players, lots of rugby at outside centre, for example, and inside centre, but at centre in general from the two of them. So in that sort of regard, I suppose it's not the massive difference that you're going to see, for example, versus if a Jason Colby was suddenly thrown into the lineup versus or a Kurtley Aronson, inverted commas. There are slightly more similar types of players, but still quite different really overall, and definitely has going to affect the way that kind of Scotland have planned for the game itself. So there we go. That's what I'm trying to get to. So yeah, this kickoff is coming up shortly. What is your guys' prediction, by the way? At the moment, the fan predicted score is sitting at 41 points to 18. So that is what the sort of general fans have had to say about the game so far. Are you guys agreeing? Are you disagreeing? What are you saying? Where are you guys with that? I have gone with what did I actually say? I have a prediction. I think I said 36 points to 20 is what I had to say. But at this stage, nobody's backed Scotland to win, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, in terms of the predictions that I made, this is kind of what I went with. So if you guys haven't, go to mypicks.app right now and go and get your prediction. There we go. As you can see, my prediction is 36 points to 20. And that's in the average score so far, 41 points from South African perspective, 18 points from a Scotland perspective. That's what the average amount of fans have had to say so far. So that is your average fan prediction. And let's have a look at the side, shall we? And I know it's a bit small, but I'll kind of go into it, shall we? And we'll kind of have a look at exactly what is there. So, as mentioned, change in the lineup over there. Apele Fassi into the side. So if we're looking at up front, Wilco Low, Jan Kobela and Bowen Fenter in the front row, backed up by Ruan Nokia and Kobus Visa, the two Bulls locks. Capping the side today in the number 7 jersey is Pidistef the Toy, Paul de Villiers in the number 6, Evan Roos in that number 8 jersey. Big opportunity and big match here for Evan Roos, who has not blown the window, the door down really when he's had opportunities in a Bok jersey. He's had chances, he's had opportunities to kind of sort of lay a bit of a mark, but he's not really taken the chances that I think, you know, somebody like a Ruan Nokia has, who's kind of made himself indispensable from the box. He's been so consistent at URC level, but he's not really done it for the box just yet. So an opportunity for him to show that he can step it up with the best of them. And Paul de Villiers, after a strong debut, interesting to see how he goes today. Big opportunity today for Ambrose Appiah, who does start. He's back from the wilderness in terms of a Bok point of view, and really good to see that he is back. You know, was playing some sensational rugby for the Bulls throughout this season, and I think got to the stage where you could not pick him. And he's playing against a familiar face in the form of Andre Pollard, who's obviously played with all season long with the Bulls. You then got Damien Willemse in the number 12 jersey, Jesse Creel the number 13 jersey, as they sort of just try that combination. Damien Willemse was the rightful man of the match. I think actually probably the player of the weekend last weekend, coming in and getting an opportunity in the number 12 jersey. A back third, Ethan Hooker, Apele Fassi, and Edwin van der Merwe. Edwin van der Merwe has got a tremendous try-scoring record. The question is, can he keep that up against probably the best side he's played to date? And Ethan Hooker gets a lot of opportunity. If we look at then our opposite men, and that is the Scots in the front row, former South African and Bulls prop, Piers Kuhlman comes home to a place where he played a lot of his domestic rugby before making the move over to Scotland. You then got Ewan Ashman in the number 2 jersey, Xander Ferguson in that number 3. You got Gregor Brown, Scott Cummings in the second row. I always say that the Scottish locks are kind of what let them down somewhat, and don't always contend from an engine room point of view. And I think that's sometimes where I feel Scotland are a little bit short is probably world-class locks. They've got a very good back row of Matt Ferguson, Jack Dempsey and Rory Dodge, and expect them to be very, very busy today. You then got Ben White next to Finn Russell. This is the 9-10 combination that can make Scotland tick. It's a brilliant variety of skills on display, and I think that Finn Russell is a player who, I think we've had to kind of dispense of the term maverick over the last few years, because he's just been so consistently strong at what he does that it's an injustice to say that he's a maverick type player. There was the famous quote in what's the series on Netflix, where he basically described himself as the Messi of rugby, but genuinely I think he is the best player half in the world. And if he has a strong game today, that'll go a long way towards the Scots beating us. Similarly, I think, to be honest, the two centres, Sian Topolotto, Rory Hutchinson, it's not the Hupolotto combination that strikes fear into a lot of teams' hearts, but Sian Topolotto is a tremendous player. And then Carl Steyn, big name to watch in the number 14 jerseys. Henry Pollock, by the way, has just scored a hat-trick against Fiji. Jamie Dobie in the number 11 jersey, Carl Rowe in the number 15. It's a dangerous back three, and I think that back three battle should be quite a lot of fun. And then we're going to go into the benches, and if we look at the Bok bench, now we can see what the Bok bench is. Jan-Andrew Wessels, Intuka Tunu, Zach Porthen, incredibly young, incredibly powerful, incredibly dynamic replacement front row. You then got Ben Jason Dixon, Vincent Stuka, Albert Lowe, three other forwards, Grant Williams, Quan Horn as the two backline players. Horn obviously also covering the number 10 position, where he had a go during the Barbarians game, and I think it was all right. It wasn't tremendous, wasn't his best ever showing, but it was also the first time he's ever played at that level in the number 10 jersey. So fullback's where he's comfortable at, and I really hope that we do get to see a decent amount of him at fullbacks. Then off the bench for Scott, Hiddleston, Sutherland and Hurd in the front row. Obviously a lot of experience with Rory Sutherland, and he'll be a player that Scotland will be relying on to try and bring some calmness and experience. Then you've got the likes of Williamson, Bayliss and Bradbury. They've also gone with a 6-2 split. Tom Jordan, Stafford McDowell, the two players. Obviously you've got Jamie Dobie in the number 11 jersey, who covers number 9, and his transition to the wing is what's allowed Scotland to be able to pick a 6-2 split, because he can make that move to scrum half. Two coaches today, you've got Rassie Erasmus versus Gregor Townsend. As mentioned, match details 17:40 is kickoff time, which is in just over 20 odd minutes, people. So let's get your score predictions into the comments below. Let me know where you are watching from, and what are the feelings? Are we feeling a bit nervous? Are we feeling excited? Do we think that Scotland can really give us a go? Do we think that this should be a foregone conclusion, which I think I would advise against being let's say confident is a good way of putting it, but I would advise against being overly confident. It's a good Scottish side, and it's a Scottish side that have only been getting better. I mean, this is a Scottish side that should have competed genuinely for Six Nations, the title. They put 50 points on France. They beat England, which, I mean, we also beat England, obviously. But so we've got to be mindful of them. We've got to show them the respect, which I think we will. I don't think that, Rassie Erasmus has ever underestimated or not respected an opponent. So I don't think we have to worry about from that point of view. But as fans, I think we need to be cautiously optimistic. It's a strong Scottish side. It's a good box side. It's obviously a box side that hasn't played as much rugby together as a lot of these Scottish players have played. But I think the main thing, what excites people, is that it's the hunger that we're kind of expecting to see. It's players like Ethan Hooker coming back from injury, and he wants to put himself in the mix. It's an Evan Ruas who's yet to really break the door down. It's an Ambrose Appiah who's coming off a really good season. In many ways, this is kind of a bit of a form 23 from a Bok perspective. Intuka Tunu has been phenomenal for the Stormers, and he will want to translate that form into the Bok jersey, because he missed last year through injury, and will be desperate to come back and show what his worth is, and that he's ready, and then he wants to put his hand up for the World Cup next year. Zach Porthen, what a game he had last weekend. Jan-Andrew Wessels now needs to show that he's the the genuine hooker option on the bench. Quan Horn, a young player coming through, in the starting lineup. Napoli Fassi, we'll need to reinforce that he's the second choice 15 after Damian Willems. A big opportunity for Neville van der Merwe, who's in the wings. Huge call for Nkubas Visa. Can somebody really take the number 4 jersey and show that they are an option? And give Rassie Erasmus that presence of mind that we can do without an Eben Etzebeth or Leo Diago. I can show you what I'm all about, because that's what we kind of keep waiting for, someone to grab the number 4 jersey and say, this is mine, I can do a job here, you don't have to panic, I've got this. So lots to think about, lots to go through, and let's do that check-in, people. Where are we all watching from, and what are some of the score predictions? Yeah, Pierre Williams going to 26 points to 19. We're going to be going through the team in just a little bit. We'll put that on the screen and kind of talk you through as well, and then very shortly we will have the anthems and kickoff. But yeah, guys, let's have a look at the team, shall we? And whilst we're having a look at the team, as I said, please do let me know where you're watching from. Please let me know who you are supporting, and afterwards, we look at this, we'll look at some of the individual battles and exactly why I think that the Scotland side can give us a decent go. And I think where we have an opportunity to try and front up and beat Scotland, and kind of what we might be able to gain and learn from this game. Right, good side. It's a good side from Scotland. And I think Finn Russell, Tupolotto, Carl Steyn, Carl Rowe, those are players who make things happen. And if their forwards can give them a bit of ascendancy, then there's no doubt that there is a lot that the Scottish side can throw at us, which I think is exciting. I think I think I'm very excited to see exactly. I want to see a Scotland side stretch us. I want to see a Scotland side really give us a go, and hopefully the Scottish side will do exactly that. But the Bokke are in at the stadium. The lights, new lights by the way, at Loftus have been mounted and are out, and kick off in about 10 minutes time. And this was the scenes earlier as they arrive. Scotland is arriving as well. Team's looking pretty relaxed, to be honest. Is probably the only way I can describe it. But yeah, very, very soon we'll be moving into anthems, the likes of that. But earlier, this were the scenes at Loftus when the Boks arrived, followed very shortly by the Scots.
You've got a long day ahead of you, so you have to be a little bit patient. I'll give you some
I don't worry about him, I'm worried about you.
You got heavy since the last time.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Very close for him.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. If you're new, are you ready for kickoff? It is South Africa versus Scotland. South Africa playing right to left with kickoff. Scotland playing in their purple. Will be receiving kickoff. A couple of empty seats in Loftus. Not a good look. That on the back of all the different controversy. And we do have kickoff as Andre Pollard goes down at the left-hand side. And an early take there from ground and a good early tackle coming as well from, it looks like, Cobus Visa. His brother, sorry, it's Johan Krobelot. That is good. This Vista playing at his home ground. An early kick as well there for Ben White. And he does find a solid touch finder and settle into things. Welcome to the stream, people. What are your final score predictions? Get them into the comments below. And let me know who you're watching. Let me know who you're supporting. Let me know kind of how many tries you think we're going to see over there. Jan Kobler's first line over here. Important to get the start that we want. It's very, very good conditions there at Loftus. It's a pretty bad to start from a line point of view. Turnover ball. Finn Russell goes out wide. Good pass there to Hutchison. Hutchison goes across to Damien Dobie. Damien Dobie to Carl Rowe. And Scotland into Springbok territory. Not the start we would have wanted. And a really good carry that coming from as well from Ashman. And now Jack Dempsey starting to get into the mix. Turn the ball at the back of that lost line out now. Tupolotto almost finding half a gap there. To the right-hand side now. Good work there coming from Rory Dodge. Eventually brought down. Ball over to the left-hand side. There you go. Finn Russell. There's space out wide. Ethan Hooker has to spread. Carl Rowe. Jesse Creel makes tackle. Ethan Hooker onto the ball. But secured here from Scotland as Ben White look for options. To the right-hand side he goes. That's a nice good tackle coming here from Paul de Villiers on the opposite number, Matt Ferguson. To the left-hand side, Ben White. Tupolotto comes inside. Jesse Creel makes up the tackle. Evan Lewis slowing things down at the rack. And to the right-hand side now goes Scotland. Nice big carry there coming from Xander Ferguson, the tight head. And now puts his head down as well. Scott Cummins lined up by the two props. But this is good ball retention here from Scotland so far. All right, defense, long pass out wide. Lots of space over. And big hit coming. And eventually brings him down. 100 Pollard makes the initial hit as Ashman really lined him up. But penalty for rolling is the call. So big defensive set survived by the Boks. A good early start from a defensive point of view. That'll give us a lot of confidence. Not a good start from Alana, which we said last week, especially in the first half, was quite sloppy early on. And something that we need to get a lot better at. So not a good start. We have another opportunity here. So there it is, people. Everything on the screen over here. It is we are trialing a new score bag. Last week we had to do a lot of different work because our usual API data feeds didn't actually have the Nations Championship, which didn't really help. So we've had to build a whole new system, which is over there on the screen. So let me know what you think of it. We've got the South African side on the left-hand side over there. We'll be showing the Scottish side as well. But those are the 23 players in the green and gold. A good line at this time. And looking for the rolling maul now of the Boks with Peter Steff the toy. And the receiver over there is done well. An advantage as well, yeah, from the Boks. And Mbrosa Pierre goes to Damian Willemse. Damian Willemse steps inside. Mbrosa Pierre, quick ball. Coming around the corner is Jan Krobelot. Back towards the right-hand side. And penalty for Scotland. Hands beyond the ball is the call. So unfortunately, our first real opportunity with ball in hand does not go our way. It's against Cobus Visa. So some of the early predictions, Super Trial, I reckon, score 54 points to 21 for the Boks. And Jenny Kotzer would say 25 points, Scotland 20. So at the moment, no one's backing Scotland. And I mean, we can't. I mean, we're all patriotic. We've got to back the buggers. But I tell you what, not the best start early on. A silly penalty conceded. A line out conceded as well. To the front of the line they go. Good take that coming from Ferguson. Yeah, I think one of the stronger parts of the Scottish side is that back row. There's very, very good players, the likes of Dodge, Dempsey, Ferguson. A bit of a balancing act, really. And they've got a penalty advantage here coming around the side. Looks like Cobus Visa might be again, so that's not a good start for the number 4. Solid tackle there coming from PSF for Toy Tupolotto with the carry to the right-hand side. Now they go. Finn Russell goes to the cross kick. And up there, Fassiers around and it will be kept in, but forward, I think, from Carl Steyn. They'll go back for the penalty. Interesting to see what Scotland do here. Very kickable at goal. Could be an early opportunity for them to put some points on the board. But at the moment, having to weather a bit of a storm on the box and get yourself into Russie's Coach's Corner at the bottom over there. Send a super chat. Get your hot take in. You know, what is your hot take of the day? We've had some. Like last week, for example, we had Better Pen who said that Ox Prop run was the run of the match when he broke free. So get your hot take in there. And I want something cool, something controversial, something like Damian Williams is our best 12. You know, get that sort of kind of almost a bit controversial sort of take, or maybe it's not even that controversial, to be fair, but get it into the comments. Scotland on the 5-meter line, by the way. They have turned down the opportunity to go for the try and are looking for the full Monte. So Ewan Ashman with ball in hand, sporting a pretty decent stash. They go to the front. They do compete, though, and Pierce left the toy. I think it's come forward from him, but it has been competed for, and I think that'll be a scrum. Will be the call. In fact, it's actually skew, says the referee, so it'll be a scrum for the box. So first of all, it's a good line-out win coming from Peter Steph for Toy, but more importantly, we get to pack down and have a real good go at this side, which is, you know, Don Human, I thought last week was, you know, a bit overpaid for the lack of scrums we got in the first half. But maybe now this week we're going to find ways of getting some more scrums and getting ourselves going into it. Right, so big scrum, yeah, 896 kgs the box. Fair enough, when was the last time that we saw a Scottish pack heavier than the box? 898, just 2 kgs in it, so not much, but, and it's a pretty good scrum over there, keeping the ball, but it's actually come up at the back there. Ambrose Appeal will have to go to the boot, and Evan Ruiz not able to, that's a massive kick. And that is Ambrose Appeal at his best with that kind of clearance, up towards the halfway line, solid scrum. Didn't quite get the penalty advantage, but definitely were going forward. We find a good clearance as well. Rassi sitting next to Tony as well as Lindsay, our analyst, and very much looks at all the different sort of stats. Pretty full coaching box these days from a South African point of view. A quick line out for Scotland, and Finn Russell flat to Tupolotto, brought down by Willemse with assistance from Andre Pollard. To the left-hand side now, you Ashman. And Jamie Dobie. I'll tell you what a revelation he's been on the wing, Jamie Dobie, for Scotland, and how dynamic that's allowed them to make their bench, and even their starting 23, to be honest, as Scotland trying to get themselves over the advantage line. Here, they're on the halfway mark, going back to Finn Russell in the pocket. Finn Russell lifts it in the air. It'll be a chase here. Carl Stade up against Edel van der Merwe. Pierce Step the toys in and around. Edel van der Merwe does take it back towards, in fact, knock-on advantage, says the referee, for the box. It ended up by Andre Pollard. Ambrose Appeal will dig for it. And quickly were Scots. And still a knock-on advantage for the box. Ambrose Appeal, I think, will probably look for the box kick here. And look at the... he's got options to the left-hand side. He says no, says Peter Steph the Toy. Now some support arrives. And Peter Steph the Toy has got Jan Krobler behind him, as well as Kobus Visa. Now that's a much better... ruck to allow Ambrose Appeal to go to the boot. He'll lift us high in the air and we'll get a nice contestable. Did a whole segment last weekend on the Rugby Unlocked about how this has become a third set piece. This up and under. And Damian Willemse and Ruan O'Keefe, in fact, is allowed to bounce. Finn Russell is blurring. Oh, he's done very well. He's dived on the ball there. And pressure coming from Ruan O'Keefe, though. Scotland have managed to retain him. Asking the question, is Ruan O'Keefe possible knock-on? No, says the referee. And Scotland will get back into their work. Carry there coming from the number 4, Gregor Brown. And now Ben White will look to return the favour. Kobus Visa trying to get the tries down. It's not going particularly far there. I think an early call has come from Andre Pollard. He's taken it well, though. Landed right by Paul de Villiers. Evan Ruiz as well. Ensured that ball is secured. Now, Johan Krobler takes it up. Slightly isolated, but Bowen Fenter does arrive, as does Ruan Nokia. Ball available, and Bruce Pierre goes back to Ablene Fassi in the pocket. Goes to that left boot, towards the left right-hand side there. Peter Steph the Toy, Ethan Hooker all sort of flank. Ethan Hooker throws it back, but into the hands of Tupolotto. So Scotland have retained possession on their 10 metres on the line on the far side. Work their way towards the right-hand side. Now, Pierce Schumann at first receiver. Finn Russell shape to kick. Now, long pass out wide towards Hutchinson. Now, but a space out wide. Getting across as Paul de Villiers. Comes back inside as Carl Stein. Slide slip. He gets away from Evan Ruiz. Brought down by Jan Krobler. That's a big tackle coming on Cummins. And it's Wilco Low and Peter Steph the Toy driving back. Peter Steph the Toy back onto the feet and looking to counter ruck. Just so full of work as Peter Steph the Toy. I mean, what he does with his off day, you know? Does he even have an off day? Now kicked ahead by Ben White. Andre Pollard once again calling for it, and once again does the job. This Andre Pollard, that's 2 from 2 from him under the high ball. Good start from him. Pick up and go here from Evan Roos. Quite a frantic start of a game of rugby so far, but enjoying the vibe. To the right-hand side, Bone Fenter. Cobus Visa behind him, backed up by Wilco Lowe as well. And the ball's actually come on the Scottish side. It's not entirely sure what happened in the end there. Penalty, says the referee. There was hands in. So it will be a penalty for the lads and be able to kick towards the corner. Well, I'll tell you what, this is pretty high octane and quite exciting stuff. If they can kind of keep this up, I'll be very impressed. It'll be a very fun watch if they can kind of keep this this pace of play up for the remainder of the game. Not a bad kick towards the touchline. Box progressing further up just outside the 22. Important now that we secure the lineup, that we get going nice and early. And thoughts on the Nations Championship badge? I mean, how long do we have to sort out what the badge is going to look like on these things? And they basically forgot about it and just gave them like these white stickers to, lick and stick onto their sleeves. And apparently, by the way, we will be unveiling a new jersey for the Greatest Rivalry Tour. And Paul de Vries breaks off the back and looks at the opposition. Well read there, coming from Finn Russell. Damien Willemse was linking up there, showing go yet from Andre Pollard, goes himself. The box well into the 22. They're about 10 meters out. Penalty advantage that comes as well. So free roll of the dice. If Morrison Pierre can get this ball out, he's desperately digging for it. There it is. Now Peter is left the toy. Cobus Visa almost in front of him. Does well to get out the way. Wilco Lowe. And that ball is going to move towards the Scottish side. We'll go back for the penalty. Now, decision time. We can take the 3 points right in front and get ourselves on the board. Alternatively, we can go to the corner. Personally would like to see us go to the corner, but maybe as well, a certain amount, get some points on the board. Let's kind of settle into things. And if you guys are supporting the box, please do smash a like on the video. If you're supporting Scotland, well, maybe also smash a like on the video. But subscribe as well. Let's get some new people into take the scrum. I love it. Here's the alpha move. Taking the scrum out of the box, saying, 5 meters out, this is what we do. Wilco Lowe saying, excuse me, this is Loftus. This is where I thrive. I know this field. I know the field under my grass. The next time I'll be on here will be for Stormers. So it'd be a bit frustrating for Bulls to be watching that. But the main thing is this is a front row that knows conditions very well. The likes of Johan Krabla plays as rugby archer. Bone Fenter making his move back to back to South Africa to the Lions next season as well. So big scrum opportunity here for the Boks. They had a pretty good scrum early on, back on our own 5 meter line. This about let's call it about 10 meters out, just beyond the 5 meter line. The main thing is penalty advantage, and then we see where can we go from there. What can we know? We're going to have a reset here. I hate a reset. If those who've been watching this channel for a while will know my feelings on a reset. Not my favorite thing. I do think it takes us far too long to get our scrums done. But it is what it is sometimes. Right, come. Let's get a solid front foot here. Let's get Damien Willemse a bit of space. That's the scrum. There is the penalty advantage. And Bosa Pierre immediately wants to go for it. Pops it up, bubbles, and it's all gone a bit loose. We'll go back forward. But no, in fact, we picked it up. Jesse Q on a bit of space. And off the Scottish side getting across. And eventually, it is bundled out. I tell you what, there was a bit of space. But all of a sudden, he did have half of Scotland running at him and not managing to stay in. We'll go back for the penalty, though, from the scrum. And pretty sure at this stage, we'll just ask for another scrum. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why would you not ask for another scrum? Peter Steph the toy. What's he got to say here? I mean, that's a pretty good scrum success rate so far. 2 scrums. You've nailed them both, and we are taking the scrum. So, yeah, there we go. Really starting to throw down the gauntlet here and say, come, let's see if you can match up here. And, I mean, we know that this is what we want. I mean, all we want is to scrum as much as we can. Come on, lads. Nice big scrum. Let's get our first points on the board here. Solid start, and off we go is the plan here. Much better scrum that time. This one was Scotland. It'll be a free kick for the Boks. So Ambrose Pierre digging. He wants to take this quickly. Has taken it quickly. Pops it up to Evan Roos. Evan Roos with a bit of space on the 5-meter line. Now to the right-hand side. Cobus Visa carries it in, trying to emulate the carrying antics of his brother. Pierce left the toy now, captain for today. To the right-hand side, Evan Roos. Evan Roos just short. Pick up and go. It's over. I'm seeing legs in the air. I'm not sure if we've got Crowning. Pierce left the In fact, I don't know whose legs that are held up is the call. I mean, all I saw were the legs of Cobus Visa. In fact, it's Johan Krobbeler who was pick up and go there. And held up is the call. Jack Dempsey stopping Johan Krobbeler. But not bad start. Like to have been, I mean, again, we've kind of turned down 3 points twice there, so you kind of then need to really convert that. Right, the restart coming and to the right-hand side, and Andre Pollard underneath it. Andre Pollard goes inside. Evan Roos wants to have a bit of a go. Bang! But the big hit coming there from Pierre Schoeman. Rides it well, though, does Evan Roos. Now to the right-hand side we'll go. Bruce Pierre goes to Wilco Low. And those 45 kgs apiece thighs. And Bruce Pierre sees a half gap. And he gets in his face. And Bruce Pierre thinks, has he got the pace? He's got the pace. Well, he knows his way around the trial, and he's finally got the call up. And Ambrose Pierre says, thank you very much. I will take my first try back in the green and gold. And what a try that's taken. I mean, how well taken is that? Absolutely brilliant, that from Ambrose Pierre. It's been so overdue, the call up, and I mean he still has so much to do. Picks it up, finds a half gap, then has to round Carl Rowe as well. And the celebration, Rassie Rasmus, what he said, you know, sometimes it wasn't always about Ambrose Pierre not playing well, that there were just other people who were keeping him out of the mix, basically. Well, I'll tell you what, he's back in the mix. And that is a bit of a statement as well, to come on like that and score a try nice and early and just say, just remember, I'm here. Just remember, I'm still here. And the scrum half depth for the Boks only gets better and better. No issues that from Andre Pollard, and the Boks take an early 7-0 lead. And I mean, look, sees a bang. The step just does Anna Ferguson, gets away from where he dodged, and then rounds Carl Rowe. So much to do when he picks it up. But such is the form of Ambrose Pierre. Mark's only coming with the Antoine Dupont wishes he was in the form that Ambrose Pierre was. And Bern Fenter's throwing Cobus Visa ahead. Cobus Visa still going. Look at those long legs. He's still going. It's Cobus Visa. Gets all the way to Paul DeVries. He changes the direction. Bern Fenter was overrunning it. Bern Fenter saying, oh, he's still going. It's Paul DeVries. Everyone tackling. He's eventually brought down the 22. Ridiculous run. Quick ball now from Ambrose Pierre. And Bern Fenter with the soft skills. He did look on the right-hand side, just short of the 5-meter line. Now to the left-hand side. And then David Phillips at first here pops up to Paul DeVries, who was running around as if he was playing touch rugby out there. Now it goes back to Wilco Low. A bit more direct coming from the tight head. Ambrose Pierre. Look here. Back on the 5-meter line. Couldn't the Boks go bang, bang here? Pick up and go from Bern Fenter. And that's a nice carry from him. What a good start from the loose head. And Cobus Visa, what was his early run at the start of the saw? He's just short. Needs to try and turn present. He does. Andre Pollard calling for it. Paul de Villiers back in the mix, as is Wilco Low. Wilco Low wants to pick up and go. Pops up to Paul de Villiers. Keep on going from Bern Fenter, just short. Now Evan Roos. Has he got grounding? Yes, he does. Bang, bang, say the Boks. I tell you what, you know, we talk about the flair of the backline. Can we talk about the flair of the forwards? Bern Fenter pulling in the beast move, then basically throwing Cobus Visa forward, saying, go forth, my son. It's mental. He almost goes behind him. He keeps him over there, and then he throws him down, and off Cobus Visa goes. He gets away from 2. Then he pops it to Paul de Villiers. Bang, steps inside of 1. Finds the half game. Says, thanks very much. Says, thanks very much. That's 2-3. Eventually brought down. I mean, that was all the forwards with the offloads and the continuity, and oh, goodness me. I mean, that is absolutely, I mean, that's got to be try of the weekend so far. It's just the forward skill set. I mean, Bern Fenter, by the way, was almost overrunning Paul de Villiers. He's sitting there saying, hey, come on, give it to me. I'm ready here. And that's our Lucid prop. And he's not even one of the small, sort of dynamic, quick around the park Lucids. That's our big, burly, scrummaging Lucid in the form of Bone Fenter. That is sensational. What an absolute vibe at Loftus. Look at the celebrations coming from Grant Williams and Kwai North. They're like two little best friends, like jumping each other, going, yay! Now restart goes to Damian Willemse. Not looking to kick, and he steps inside. 14-0. What a start this from the box. Chase coming from Ethan Hooker. I think he's lost it 4. And as we gather, the referee says, no, ball back inside goes into the hands of Ben White. It's all a bit ridiculous at the moment. Now, eventually goes back towards Kyle Rowe. Kyle Rowe gets away from the tackle on Kobus Visa. I mean, this is just kind of playing hot potato at the moment. Dempsey takes it into contact. And no advantage. I think there was I thought there was an earlier knock-on from Ethan Hooker. And eventually we are going to have the scrum. It is going to be a Scotland scrum. But what are we thinking about that start, people? I mean, I said we need to start well and that Scotland can do some damage. But I tell you what, I didn't expect to start like that. I mean, it all just sort of sparked from Ambrose Appear and then just a couple of really, really good moments. More importantly, the relief that my scoreboard, which I have built, is working, is probably bigger than everything right now. And the Brannas and Cokers flowing at Loftus. And that's good to get a too early try. That just settles you into the game a little bit. You know, Scotland will speak the entire week about how we can go toe-to-toe. We've got to sort of match them. We've got to be up for it. And when the Boks score 2 nice early tries, then that puts all the pressure back onto them. So it's a nice start. Now the question is, how long can we sort of keep this? Last week we had we saw England coming back, and Scotland will come back. They're a good side. They will definitely come back. They will definitely test us. The question is, how much can we ride that pressure and transfer it back on them, and how few points can we concede when that pressure is on? But right now, you couldn't have asked for a better start. At 21 minutes past, 14 points to 0. And we're eventually ready to pack down at scrum time. We did have two scrum penalties. Well, 1 scrum penalty, actually, I lie. At the end by the 1 meter line. So far, Bone Fenton and Wilco Lowe have had good times. The question is, can we find that scrum penalty off the back of Scotland ball versus off the back of our ball? But I talked about players putting their hands up so far. Bone Fenter, Kobus Visa has been very busy. Paul de Villiers, Evan Roos started well. You know, that is what putting your hand up is all about, making an impact. That's a nice big shot. Wilco Lowe is doing a job, but they do get the ball out to Scotland. Tupolotto. And he gets past two tackles. Tupolotto eventually brought down by Peter Steph the Toy and Damian Willemse getting away from Ambrose Appear and Andre Pollard initially. Paul de Villiers back and Peter Steph the Toy as well. Now to the left-hand side. Tupolotto and Finn Russell. And around the outside. Ball back inside. Ambrose Appear. Good tackle there on Kyle Rowe. Penalty advantage for Scotland. Offside is the call. And then already we can see the Tupolotto and Finn Russell, how dangerous those two can be as a combination. Good tackle there from Paul de Villiers. Peter Steph the Toy on the ball. The ball available for Ben White. To the right side. Tupolotto once again. Pops it up and comes back inside as Jamie Dobie on his opposite wing. Just to the 22. Still playing with penalty advantage and now are Scotland. Now the left-hand side. Brown. Brought down by the opposite number, Kobus Visa. Straight goes Piers Skuman. Big tackle coming from Wilco Lowe and Peter Steph the Toy. They've got numbers over here. Tupolotto goes back inside. Casting. Holds on, does Bone Fenter. Now to the right-hand side. Piers Skuman. Shows and goes. Evan Roos brings him down. Into the 22. This is good from Scotland. Big pressure test now for the Boks. Xander Ferguson now. Show and go coming from Jack Dempsey. Big defensive set needed from the Boks. Skip past Jubilato, goes straight out wide, and big hit coming from Ethan Hooker, and have they bundled him out? They have bundled him out. So good work that been done from the block defence. We will go back for the penalty advantage for Scotland. But some nice tackles there and good scramble defence. And once again, turning down the points here, Scotland, and Finn Russell not happy with his kick. You could see he was just pretty disgusted, to be honest, at how that went out. I think it's actually looking at the tackle there from Paul de Villiers saying it was a grass cutter. I think that was the issue there, which I think is probably a fair shot in fairness. But what a start he's had. Blue empty seats at Loftus, not what we want to see. And also very interested to sort of see, are those the boxes, for example, because there was a big issue with the hospitality at Loftus and what we expected to see, a lot of them being empty. It's a good line, though, from Scotland. And show and go down the right-hand side, set move. But they've away to the threat now are the box, and Jan Krobelop has his hands on it and wins the penalty. Thank you very much. That's good to see. That's what we need to see from Jan Krobelop. When you're starting to deputise for Malcolm Marks and you start getting some early breakdown penalty wins, then you're doing well for yourself in terms of putting your name into the hat. First one there. And it was actually very well done. He didn't go quite straight on. He kind of actually waited to make sure he was getting his hand directly on the ball. You have to be so accurate these days. Cannot gonna get it wrong. So you have to be so accurate to make sure that you're onto the ball and not just putting your hands across and basically sort of sweeping the ball back. That's what they're taking back. It's a good line out to PSF the toy. And front foot ball coming from Paul de Villiers in that Siakalisi role. We've seen him carry so much off the back of a line out. Ball available now for Ambrose Papier. And he'll go to the boots. Ron Nokia set to chase. And there he goes, followed by Edel van der Merwe. Edel van der Merwe leading the line. He hasn't seen much of Edel van der Merwe. Does get it back into the hands of Kobus Visa, who's been full of work so far. Quick ball now for Papier. To the right-hand side, Pollard. Creel pops up for Fassi with a bit of space. Fassi goes to Ethan Hooker. Ethan Hooker comes back inside. Just short of the 22. Pick up and go. Peter Steph the toy. Well read that just at the time from the Scottish defence. Ball available for Papier. Now Bernfriend, a quick ball to Paul de Villiers, who's making more yards. Almost a bit of a slippery customer as Paul de Villiers. Not too much on, and eventually pops it up for JC Creel, who does well in the circumstance. Now goes to Pollard. Long pass out wide onto the bounce for Edel van der Merwe. Not the best pass for Edel van der Merwe. He has to cut back inside. Throws it back inside Damien Willemse. Willemse with a bit of space, and he's actually lost the ball forward in contact. Matt Ferguson, and all the way, Ben White doesn't have much option, so he just hammers us downfield. There's nobody back for the box. And is that going to run out? It's actually going to stay in. And Andre Pollard will have to go back. Long pass out wide towards Fassi. Fassi with a space, but going to take the straight safe option. He's going to put it in the air and chase it himself. And well taken that by Matt Ferguson. So Scotland with his ball back inside the 10-metre line. Now to the right-hand side. Kicking behind from Carl Rowe. Up there, Fassi's going to have to go back. He'll have a bit of time, though. I think just look for touch here with Fassi. Doesn't find it, though. Kept in. Now Finn Russell. What will he do? He looks to run. Well tackled by Fassi. Gets the ball away, though. Ben White. Long pass out wide. Matt Ferguson steps inside of Bone Fenter. Kubas Visa. That's a good carrying tackle by Ben White. Ball pops up to Xander Ferguson. And Fassi literally just jumps onto the back of him. Had Wilco low there as well, but I think he knew there's only one way he's bringing down a tight end, and that's to basically jump on him and see if he comes down, which he did. And the boxer turned the ball over. So Hunter Pollard out wide to Damien Willemse. He sees space. Launches it downfield. Carl Stain going back. In fact, it's Jamie Dobie. And he points to the skies. Bang, there he goes. Caro, but this has been a bit overcooked here. Call comes from up to Fassi to leave it from Edel van der Merwe. Now puts it low in behind and puts it straight into touch from up there to Fassi. Not a very good kick, that from him. Well, it's a high-tempo game, and at altitude, this could very much play into the Boks hand, but Scotland have come to play. They've obviously got no points so far to speak of, but they've been good. Cobus-Visa getting a bit of treatment. Big shout out to all our new members who are joining the channel. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you guys as part of the community. Oh, there's Chris Morris there with his son, and I can tell you right now, I've been to many a golf day where Chris Morris has been there, and there will definitely be a brandy under that chair. Enjoys a brandy or two, does Chris Morris. Definitely got enough money to buy a few after those many IPL contracts. Good line there from Scotland, and Finn Russell, skip pass out, long pass out. You can see immediately trying to access the whip here, Scotland. Jamie Dobie runs to Ethan Hooker and Jesse Creel. They complete the tackle. Ben White to the right-hand side. Finn Russell. Quite stagnant, but now Scotland present options, and Ashman gets past the 10-metre line. Pick up and go, Ben White to Finn Russell. Finn Russell, again, long pass out wide. Carl Steyn hugging in the width and slips as Imro Sapir, makes a half tackle. Now to the left-hand side, they go. Matt Ferguson caught on the ball by Jan Krobelaar. Quick ball here from Ben White. Penalty advantage from the referee. Evan Lewis, I think, coming in from the side, says the ref. Presents well. Scotland with penalty advantage. Short ball. Well read from Damien Willemse. Ben White, and there's numbers, but the ball goes forward. They'll go back for the penalty advantage. So discipline at the moment, not the best from the Boks. We haven't see any points, and Scotland haven't really capitalised on it. But yeah, we've not been as disciplined as you'd probably like. You know, probably are conceding a couple of penalties too many. And Finn Russell will just kick to the corner here. So Scotland have now turned, well, I mean, it could have been 9 points if they're taking it. It could have been 9 points. So interesting they're not taking the points. They definitely are trying to go for a try, but they haven't been able to make it converted so far. And had they taken the points, they would be sitting there 5 points behind the Boks. They'd actually have more points there if they were to score a converted try. So it's an interesting thing. You know, obviously when you're 14 points to 0 down, you're thinking, well, we get a converted try, we can kind of halve the deficit. But at the same time, you start building a bit of pressure, then that's also a way to go about it. And I tell you what, though, that's looking like a good rolling maul. Ashman at the back of it. Now the Boks get back and do manage to rally a little bit. Once is the call from the referee. Peter Step the toys in the middle. And now Ruan O'Keefe's come through it and told to leave it. Now they do use it. Ben White goes to Pollard to the first receiver. Carl Steyn. Oh, it's not the best pass. Thankfully, Carl Rowe gets away from Hodge Pollard, though. Makes the tackle here, does Evan Roos. Quick ball from Ben White. Finn Russell throws and goes. He gets away from both centres. Still going as Finn Russell. Paul de Villiers over the ball, but misses it this time. Now big coming from Gregor Brown looking for the offload. Scotland 5 metres out. Ashman loses it forward. What? And just as well, because that was looking ominous for the Boks. Really good continuity. Finn Russell at his best, and then Ashman probably looking at the tackler instead of the ball, and he'll be frustrated. I think if he held on to that, he probably would have gone over. But of try-line fever almost to a certain degree. Sarah saying, driving from Rome to Pienza in Italy. Love the commentary. Go Boca. Oh, imagine the views over that side. Well, glad you're enjoying it. And welcome, welcome. Loftus looks like they're enjoying it. And we will have a scrum here on the 5 metre, our 5 metre line. We've got just less than 8 minutes left on the clock. Just over 8 minutes left on the clock at the moment. 31 minutes gone. Cobus-Visa, is he making way? I think he is, in fact. I think a bit of an injury that from Cobus-Visa. He was down a bit earlier. And they have made the call. So Ben Jason Dixon on for Cobus-Visa. So first substitution here for the Boks. A reminder, this is what the Boks team does look like. So over there, it's Ben Jason Dixon in the number 19 jersey in for Cobus-Visa. And we are going to have a reset here. What are the thoughts of the first half an hour? I feel like I'm quite tired. It's been quite a eventful first half. And I also feel like we haven't taken that long to play it, which has been quite good. No, kicker was only 35 minutes ago. So good continuity. Right, here we go. Let's get a scrum going here, people. Much better scrum this time in Scotland. A bit of a second shove. And then do you get the scrum that penalty to Scotland? It's on Wilco low side. So Pierce Kuman getting a bit of Wilco low this time. And all of a sudden, Scotland with a penalty in the 5-metre line. And Finn Russell having a discussion about what to do here. Still scored it once again. They could have been 12-14 down. And Ben White shaping up to take the quick tap. So what does Scotland conjure up here? And it goes to Tupolato, the first receiver. Ben White now got options. And they're looking for the receiver rolling Maul. Maul is the call from the referee. So a bit of innovation here from Scotland. Now it's being pushed to the left-hand side. Can they come break away? Goes down. Penalty advantage is the call. It's really well worked from Scotland. That was exactly the idea. Much like we've seen. Oh, pick up and go. Matt Ferguson, I think is over. We're going to have a look. The referee very badly placed. I do think this is going to be a try, though. Pierre Step, the toy, is going to have a conversation with the referee. Brendan says, we're in the middle of Spain on a road trip from Barcelona to Bilbao, enjoying your commentary with 0% beer and some biltong. What a way to enjoy the game. Apparently very hot over there. My brother's over in Spain. I'm getting all the different, all the photos. So there's the dive from Matt Ferguson. Hasn't quite, there he's got grounding. No issue. The try will stand there. Scotland, I think we're always eventually going to get break. They've been putting us under pressure. And this is a bit like last week where we raced to a lead and now they've kind of been coming back into the game so far of Scotland. They've turned down quite a few points because they were adamant that they wanted to get the try and they're going to have their first one. So 5 points to 14. And Natty says, Bokker is going to, I'm assuming he said, win this one. And Robert's saying he's at a birthday party, so can't watch. Unlucky. Who puts a birthday party during a Bok game when it doesn't have a screen with the Bok game? I mean, it's like I was at a wedding last year, same vibe. People, we can't be making these kind of mistakes these days. You know, we've got to be making sure that we plan our social calendars around Bok season. So Matt Ferguson, the try scorer. Finn Russell makes no mistake off the tee, and Scotland do halve the deficit as we go into the final few minutes of the first half. Can we maybe hit back here? Still 5 minutes to go. To the left-hand side, Hodge Pollard goes with the restart, and it's deep. And Jack Dempsey. Ben Jason Dixon first up. Makes sense. He's just fresh coming off the bench now. Ben Jason Dixon. And now Ben White. Not looking for touch, or is he looking for touch? Yeah, I will find touch. Good touch finder, very good touch finder. That's why I was asking the question, because it looked like it was quite narrow towards the touch line, and he's found a very good touch finder towards the halfway line. So Scotland have definitely absorbed the pressure and are now kind of sort of settled in a little bit. Call comes to Johan Kobalov from Embrace Papier. Ben Jason Dixon, the target, and brought straight down. Presents well. And there's the Caterpillar available for Embrace Papier. Now Bone Fenter. Strong half from him. Embrace Papier shaping for the box kick. And off they go. Edel van der Merwe. Hasn't had much to do except chase a couple of kicks at Edel van der Merwe, and almost spills his Carstein. Makes the tackle as Edel van der Merwe. Big counter ruck coming from the box, but Scotland do scramble well. And Ben White has Pierce Schoeman, who's always a willing ball carrier. It does go to Pierce Schoeman. British and Irish line as well last year. Travelled over to Australia. A product of the Bulls before he went over to Scotland. He has his own whiskey these days. That's a good take there from Andre Pollard under the high ball as well. He 3 from 3. He's been solid there. Slightly isolated though. Once is the core, and Scotland have turned the ball over. Ashman, long pass out wide towards Finn Russell. Sees a bit of space down the left-hand side. Giving chase as Aple Lefasi. Tracks well, takes it well. Now looking to run as Aple Lefasi. Now puts it to the boot. Now he goes over the back of Finn Russell, so there'll be no chase. Referee says there was nothing untoward. And Carl Rowe with a bit of space. Now Scotland down the left-hand side. Ben White, Damien Willemse, and Peter the Toy making the tackle. Big counter coming that from Fassi. And I think it's on the side from Fassi. I think it's a penalty for Scotland. That's silly for my player Fassi. He's not had a particularly strong game so far. A couple of silly mistakes coming from the fullback. Bob Georgia says, but enjoying your commentary while weeding the garden in sunny Sweden. How's that for a way to spend your afternoon? Now you're saying proud Bok and Morning saying we are currently watching Oval Track in Oudtshoorn, so thankful to get a glimpse of the game. Well, glad you can bring something across to you guys. Thank you very much for joining. Please make sure that you do smash a like if you are enjoying the commentary. And a big shout out to all our members who have joined the club. Welcome to the Forever Sports community. Lots of cool things coming for our members, especially as we ramp into the Greatest Rivalry Tour. If you would like to win 2 tickets to Springboks versus New Zealand, then make sure you go and join that members club. We will be giving away 2 tickets to that final test in South Africa at F&B Stadium. And that'll be exclusive to our members. Solid line at that for Scotland. They're looking for try number 2. They could maybe go into half-time level with the Boks if they were to make this work. And it's a pretty good-looking rolling more so far. Evan Roos trying to come through the middle, and they do use it. Tupolotto pops it short to Hutchinson. Damien Willemse makes the tackle. Flat to Pierre Schoeman. 90 seconds left on the clock. Finn Russell, that looks a bit forward. No, says the referee. Ashman makes a good drive, but a big counter right there. Ben White. Pop up short to Ferguson. Completes the tackle there. Peter Steph the toys. Having to do a lot of cleaning up as the Bok captain. Slow ball now for Scotland. Pierre Schoeman. More desperate defenses from the Boks. Been one-way traffic for the last about 15-20 minutes odd. Paul de Villiers trying to get over. Unsuccessful. Now Ben White will go to the left-hand side. He'll go short to Xander Ferguson. Driven backwards. Now to Pierre Schoeman. And is Evan Roos over that ball? No, this is the referee. Now it's another great pass, and Finn Russell's going to have to go out and clean up. Paul de Villiers is after him. Pops it up to Tupolotto. Now Tupolotto finds a bit of space. Gets inside of Ben Jason Dixon. Penalty advantage, but no, he gets the offload to Carl Rowe. Carl Rowe will go under the poles. And Scotland will go into halftime at this stage, level on scores. It's the relentless pressure, really, and that's actually, it's the chaos that creates the opportunity, and that's where Finn Russell really thrives. It's actually a poor pass which creates the perfect opportunity for Finn Russell. In trying to clean up, Paul de Villiers is all over him, but he gets the offload away. Very smart offload. Now Tupolotto steps inside Ben Jason Dixon. No one really tracking, and gets the offload to Carl Rowe, and that's just not good enough from the Boks. Defensive system absolutely nowhere. Looking retired, unfortunately. So that's a good, important time to score for Scotland. And half time, it's going to be level as the clock does go red. So at this stage, plenty to work on in that second half. Right, halftime score will be 14-14. Not the halftime score we were hoping to see, especially after what was such a solid opening 2 tries. But work to do. Work to do. And, yeah, look, a lot of rugby to play, but not the kind of score that Rassie Russell would be very happy with at halftime. Maybe a potentially good thing. We have a couple of talking to maybe coming up for some of the players. We'll be back very shortly for a bit of analysis of that first half. Please don't go away. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you in a bit. Right, half-time and not the score. Would have liked to have seen 14-14. The Boks went to an early lead and led off 20 minutes. After that, it basically was one-sided. Let's call it a spade a spade. Scotland definitely had the better of the Boks in that second half of the first half. And the stats also tell a story of the bit of the Scotland dominance over there. So if we look at 14-14, the two tries within basically, I think 2 or 3 minutes of each other. And then Scotland get kind of into the mix. You've got Kurt Darren singing at Loftus. It's all falling apart, to be honest. But let's have a look at this, shall we? So the two try scorers, Evan Lewis, Ambrose Appiah for South Africa, Matt Ferguson, Kyle Rowe for Scotland. Possession, key stat over there, and the Boks definitely dominated the early possession, but Scotland definitely had more of the ball throughout the half. Tackle percentage at the moment, pretty similar at the moment. Boks have run more meters with fewer passes, so we definitely are breaking the line a bit more when we do have possession, but haven't had the kind of possession we'd probably like, and probably as much as possession. And turnovers as well, not been bad at the breakdown. I think the frustration probably comes with a bit of the discipline, really, to be honest. It's not been good enough. And in terms of the teams over there, early change, and we have seen that Cobus Visa has come off for Ben Jason Dixon. So the big thing we want to look at is kind of now, what do we do from here? And in terms of the bench, well, there are options. There are options. There's no doubt that there are definitely ways we can go with this, with the second half, you know. And the nice thing is we've got quite a dynamic bench, and therefore we can kind of chop and change a little bit of what we want to do. You know, we can kind of go with a situation where you can put a quiet horn at fullback, you can put a quiet horn at fly half, for example, and it depends, I suppose, also a lot. Where are we chasing the game versus are we defending it? And I think it's gonna be fun to sort of see exactly kind of where we are and what the sort of the chat is at halftime from Rassie Erasmus and the coaches, because it's not been the easy kind of half that I don't think anybody was too early expected, but certainly not been as dominant as you probably want it to be. So that's the bench I want to talk about. And as I said, Bjarne Wessels, Nsuka, Zach Porthen, Vincent Stuka, Albert Lowe, Grant Williams, and Quiet Horn still to come on. That's pace. There's pace on pace on pace. So the good news for the Boks, I think, is that what we have had this half is a very, very quick half. It's been intense. You know, there's been no doubt that it's been a fast-paced game, and altitude will definitely start to come into play. And I think we very much picked a bench which can up the ante, can up the pace of the game towards the latter stages. So it is a very good bench in that regard to try and speed up the game and try and run Scotland off their feet later on in the game. And hopefully we'll be able to do exactly that, because we need something we need a spark, I think, in the second half. We need an early potential change and of momentum, and I don't know how we get that. We had a couple scrum penalties. We also conceded one, so there isn't necessarily a particular part of the game or aspect of the game that we are completely dominating. I do think scrums is obviously, you know, our usual weapon where we can try and get to a bit of an ascendancy, but I do think that the timing of our bench will be very, very important, and lots to say with regards to what the Scotland bench can do as well, because there's certainly players on the Scottish side of things that can add a difference. You know, if you look at that bench, Roy Sutherland will bring a lot of calmness, but Tom Jordan's a good player. Magnus Bradbury is a good player. I do think on the face of it, the Boks have got a more explosive bench, and that's what I think we're going to have to rely on, is wearing the Scotland down, keeping this pace of play up, and then bringing on that bench to really take things up to a different level. And once we do that, hopefully we'll be able to sort of see it out and get the result. But we're gonna have to work for it, and that's what I said at the beginning of the game. I said I wanted to see us pushed. I want to see us being challenged by a Scottish side that is a good Scottish side. There's no doubt that we are being pushed and that we do have to very much respond in the second half. What are your thoughts? Will we get the victory? Will Scotland surprise us? Let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna go to another break and just have a look at the teams once again, and we'll be back for the second half. welcome back. And it is the second half, and scores level at the moment. So work to do for the Boks, and it's a deep restart into the hands of Evan Roos. But this is, in many ways, what I like to see. I want to see the Boks being pushed. I want to see the Boks facing a bit of adversity. And 14-14 at halftime in a side with lots of inexperience. This is the way you can make a bit of a name for yourself. And Finn Russell being hunted down by PSJ the Toy and Damian Willemse after the kick from Mbrosa Pierre. Now we get to see the response. So promising signs in the early start, but now we need to start showing what we're all about. And Ben White will go to the boot and lifted high. A couple of chases there. Underneath it is Andre Pollard. He's been going to the high ball today. It's Andre Pollard. And sure, it's going to be a bit of hands in, Mr. Ref. No, says the referee. Not entirely sure how that's not hands in. And Finn Russell chips over the top and eventually comes back. I was about to say, guys, are we watching the same game here? I think the call did eventually come from the touch judge to say, no, it was definitely hands in the ruck over there. Well, what are our thoughts, people? We're going to put a new poll out saying, will the Boks get the win? And it's a simple yes or no question, people. How are we feeling? Are we feeling confident? Are we feeling nervous? What is the vibes at the moment? Quinn says, wait for the end. Rusty, do you know what he is doing? And Claudia said, go Bok. I love everybody throwing the support behind the Boks over here. But we will need to see something. We're going to have to see a response. And we're going to have a look at something here. I think we're actually having a bit of a TMO. We need a bit of a... That's what we need. We need like a TMO review, like pop-up with like a heartbeat of the suspense. But we are having a look. I'm not entirely sure what we're having a look at here. So we're looking at Ben Jason Dixon. And that is pretty stupid from him. And I think Ben Jason Dixon's going to see a yellow card here. Because he's gone back and basically led with the head and head-butted, it looks like Gregor Brown over there. And I'm not entirely sure why. Looking at this real time over here. It's interesting how different things do look when things are slowed down. He gets taken out of the ruck and then basically pops up and then has another go. And they're looking at over here, and he's led. The problem is he's led with the head here. There's no kind of he's planted his arms and led with the head, which I think will be the issue here. But it could be an early call, and he's reaching for his pocket here as the referee. So Ben Jason Dixon, who I thought had a solid game last week, is going to go to the bin for a yellow card, and we're going to have a look at potential red as well. It will be a bunker check as well. So not what we want to see here from Ben Jason Dixon. And the Boks down now to 14 men. And the immediate thing is that Ulrich Lowe's taken his bib off. So whether that is completely linked or whether it was always... Yeah, I think that is... You can see people are saying they need to get somebody on here. Oh, yeah, there they go. There they go. Immediately a bit of a change here. Now, interesting. Quine Horn's coming on. Who are we going to see? So there goes Volko Low. Yup, it is Andre Pollard. Andre Pollard has been hooked and Quine Horn's been deployed at fly half. That's a huge call from Rusty and the coaching staff. Bone Fenter, Volko Low gone. Zach Porthen onto the park. Jan Vessels, I think, also saw on the park. No, in fact, yeah, it is Jan Vessels. I thought he might have come on at loose head. Grant Williams onto the park as well. So we have deployed a lot of the bench. No Vincent Tuka yet and no Instituka Tunu. And we saw this last week. Jan Vessels coming on and basically having a shift at loose head, and then he'll basically shift to hooker potentially later. Penalty advantage for Scotland. Ball comes out. Wrap around from Finn Russell. Long pass out wide. And there's a bit of an overlap there. And Carl Steyn getting across. Carl Steyn's got the pace. Big tackle that came from Ethan Hooker. Just 5 meters out here, Scotland. Long pass. Finn Russell. Ashman. Jesse Creel up and makes a half tackle. Good tackle that from Jesse Creel. Very, very important. But Scotland had the momentum. Now Finn Russell goes to Pilato. And the Bok defense, but no, we get across here. Damian Willemse. Damian Willemse does make the tackle. Desperate defense now from the Boks. Scotland move to the right-hand side. Still penalty advantage. Oh, and left behind. And no penalty, no advantage to the referee. He'll go back. That's a really good defensive set from the Boks. Goodness me, that is... Yeah, I mean, Carl Steyn looked like he was going there for all the money. We obviously had the overlap because of the yellow card, and Ethan Hooker making a very, very important tackle. Yeah, so now they're saying that Jan Krobbelaar did go off, but I'm sure I saw him on. Now he is still on. So they've gotten it wrong there, the broadcasters. Jan Injured Vessels is on for Bowen Fenter. He's on at loose head. Looking for the rolling Moya. Scotland is looking pretty good. It's moving towards the right-hand side, yeah. If it peels off, we're not going to be able to stop this. It's pretty much right there. And now Scotland over. Referee says, hold up. That's brilliant from the box. Huge moment. Reduced to 14 men. And on the doorstep, they've managed to hold it up. That's a big moment. But I mean, tell you what, ballsy to hook Andre Pollard at 14-14 and put on Quine Horn at fly half. It's a big backing for Quine Horn. I mean, this guy's never even... I mean, the first time he played a professional game at 10 was the Barbarians, and Peter Step the Toys knocked that backwards off the 22. And Ruan Nokia's coming with a bit of space. Go, Ruan! He's off. Look at the pace from the big man. Looking for options. He's got Jesse. Oh, he puts the kick ahead. The class of Ruan Nokia. Finn Russell's gone to go and retrieve it. Oh, Ruan Nokia put that in. Hanging in the Louvre. Chip and chase. Now Ethan Hooker needs to get back. Gets away from it. Ethan Hooker gets away from 2. Gets away from Paul de Villiers. Bit of space. Paul de Villiers puts it to the boot. And Damien Villeneuve can't quite hold it in. But the forwards, I tell you what, maybe we should just swap the numbers down and pack JC Creel and Damien Delaney in the front row, put Ruan Nokia and Paul de Villiers into the back line. Good skills that, and that's a big relief to get out of there. It's deceptively fast. I mean, he had options. Jesse Creel was there, goes to the boot, and I mean, to be fair, he is a lock. So, never going to be the best kick ahead. Unfortunately, he's skewed right towards the middle of the park, away from the charging Jesse Creel and Edel van der Merwe. But for 14 men Springboks to get out of that and to get downfield is a big relief. Big relief. Right, people, how are we all feeling? We've got a bit of a break in play here. A couple of players getting some injuries once. And tell you what, it's not a very calm looking coaching box. Rassie looks a little bit frustrated. I can't believe that call from Rassie to pull Pollard and to put on Quine Horn at 10. That's big call. And I'm a massive Quine Horn fan. And I just hope that he does operate here. But this is not throwing him under the bus, but that's a huge ask. I mean, this is a player who doesn't play at 10. So obviously they've seen something at training, and they basically say that Quine Horn, I think that the yellow card is going to remain a yellow card from the sound of it. I think that's the confirmation. Will remain a yellow card. Ben Jason Dixon will have to put in a big shift when he comes back onto the park. And I'll tell you what, I said Andre Pollard was somebody you just need to remind us of his class, and he's been hooked early here, and I don't think he was phenomenal before he was hooked. He was good under the high ball, but in open play, it wasn't maybe offering the box exactly what they wanted. So let's see if Quine Horn can offer them exactly that. Ball goes to the back of the line. Good time to take that from Matt Ferguson. It's an HIA apparently. Andre Pollard on. Oh, no, Andre Pollard's back on. Ethan Hooker's off for an HIA. And there's a penalty for coming around the corner. That's a bit frustrating from the box. So, it'll be interesting to see who's got what now. Pollard's come on for Ethan Hooker. which means you could have Quan Horn on the wing, but you could also have Apele Fassi on the wing. So it'll be interesting to sort of see what direction they go. Initially, I'm looking at, it looks like I can see Quan Horn there standing at traditional fullback, which means maybe Apele Fassi's moved on to the wing. The Boks at the moment, a little bit in survival mode, really. We need to get back to a full contingent. But again, I mean, we don't want to lose, but... Oh, that's skew, is it? Or what's the chat here? Retake it. Retake it. I like the fact that we're being pushed and that Scotland are going to extend it, because now it's about seeing which of these players stand up in these kind of situations. And, oh, I'll tell you what, almost lost forward there. Good tackle there coming from Andre Pollard. Trying to work out. So, Edelman, there's Quan Horn. So, it doesn't look like he's obviously on the wing. Tupolotto, ball back inside to Carl Steyn. Jack Portman getting across, making a good tackle. Now Peter Steph the Toy, almost a half break coming there from Scotland. Pierre Schoeman, Finn Russell. And Hutchinson gets it away to Ben White. Good covering tackle there from Quan Horn. Ball pops up. Gets back to his feet as Quan Horn. Zach Portman there to make the tackle, and Xander Ferguson. Good continuity this from Scotland. Ball available now. Jack Dempsey to the left-hand side. Tupolotto. Long pass out wide. Carl Steyn with space. Getting across here is Jesse Creel. Apele Fassi makes the tackle. He does seem to be on the right wing yet. It's Apele Fassi. Show and go coming from Brown. 10 phases so far from Scotland. Boks the moment can't really get their hands on the ball. Now space out wide. Quan Horn has to get across. And there's the overlap coming from the yellow card. Getting across goes Peter Steph the Toy brilliantly. Damien Willemse as well. So making progress here. Scotland now. Pierre Schoeman. Big tackle on him. They're 5 meters out now, Scotland. Good hands and spinning in the tackle. Just short. Magnus Bradbury. Surely they've got calling. Nurse to the referee. They're on the doorstep. Tupolotto steps aside. Tupolotto. Just short. Desperate here from the Boks. Now Finn Russell. Long pass out wide. Carl Steyn. Has it coming back inside. Barrels over Jan Hendrik Wessels. This is mental. Bradbury. And then eventually dropped forward by Jack Dempsey. What a set that is from the Boks. Jeepers me. Well, that's a big... Whew, I don't know how we didn't concede there, to be honest. That's good. That's good. Good hustle. Bayliss was all over the place, and the offload not quite to Jack Dempsey's hands. Well, I said I wanted Scotland to challenge us. I'm actually starting to get to the stage where if they can challenge us a little bit less, that would be very welcomed. I hate it when we get the lead too quick. We slack a little after, and against the Scots side, it'll be detrimental to us. Hence, we had 14-14. We must push all the way. They will not back down. And Stephen says, I'm a proud Scot with family in SA. Always love when we play each other. Well, I mean, Scots don't usually like playing against the South Africa. We've got a phenomenal record against Scotland, but... they said that they were quietly confident, not that they could beat us, but just as a side and as a group. Tupolotto was speaking about the fact that they are quietly quite confident these days, which is a good mind shift. I think, the Scotland, I think, are starting to realize that they are one of the big boys and they start acting like, one of the big boys. Gonna have a reset at scrum time. Right, Zach Portman. needs to have a big shift here. What I'd love to see about him is another barraging run like he had against England. I'd love to see him throwing a few Scots around. That would be highly appreciated. Right now, I think what would be even more highly appreciated is to get back to a full contingent of players and start to get some ball back, because at the moment we haven't had anything. It's a big scrum coming from Scotland, but the scrum does come the way of the South Africans. Pierre Schoolman not driving in straight is the call. Quan Horn with his left boot. Just under a minute left on that clock there from Ben Jason Dixon. Yeah, you can just see Pierre Schoolman clearly not straight over there. They didn't drive us backwards, but yeah, that's what's having the conversation, Pierce Schoolman. But you gotta stay straight. And by the time they were going forward, he was basically almost laterally walking sideways. So yeah, 4-man line as the call. Yeah, Grant Williams staying there. I mean, yeah, free kick is the call, and not opening the gap is the call. And Grant Williams takes it quickly. He's got ball of his for company. There goes Grant Williams. So quick off the mark, Grant Williams. Pick up and go. And not the best pass. And Quan Horn goes to Damien Willemse. Oh, it's a bit of a high shot there from Tubolotto. I'm not sure they're going to have a look at that. I think it was just back as he basically stepped back inside. Ball pops up now for Johan Krobelop. Nice, let's just hold on to the ball for a little bit. We're going to go to the boot, which is the right call, but it'd just be nice if I start dictating a little bit of what's going on now in this game. We'll be able to get Ben Jason Dixon back on after this play. I think that ball swirling, not the best kick coming, but a great take there from up later Fassi. Then eventually, unfortunately, losing it as he got to ground. So it will be a scrum for Scotland, but the main thing is going to be able to get Ben Jason Dixon back on, and we have survived the 10-minute period without conceding any points, which is a big release. Big relief. Pick and pay ASAP are there. We have become so commercial, haven't we? It's, yeah. I mean, not to say people sold their soul, but have we noticed how much commercialism is in the broadcast these days? We had the whole the Betway thing. Now we've now got pick and pay. That's how SRAB makes 2 billion rand a year, people. Moments like that. The pick and pay crew rocking up with bags. That's how they make the big bucks. Big scrum that, and Grant Williams on Ben White. Good work there from Grant Williams. Pierre Step the Toy joins it. Scotland now the ball in hand. Ben White shaping, looking for the kick. Carl Steyn ready to give chase. Carl Steyn will give chase. Educate just down the road from where I'm sitting. They're at Trinity Rand Park. Good take that from Apley Fassi. Quick ball from Grant Williams. Now a little low. Good work there from him. Hands, bit of space. Jesse Creel pops it up to Edel van der Merwe. Edel van der Merwe puts the kick in behind and won't be able to stay in. But better from the box, better. Haven't been able to get him into the game as much as we like to, Edel van der Merwe, and we've got to try and change that. Interesting to see if obviously Ethan Hooker currently off for an HIA, but if he comes back on, it was Andre Pollard who he did replace. He's back at 10. Good line there from Scotland. Early shove from the box is good. Ben Jason Dixon onto the park after that yellow card. And the ball seems to have gone loose. Has it gone forward? It has gone forward. Come on! That's what we need. Moments like that, now we can kind of get into it. Gregor Townsend sending some messages down there. He'll be quite a chuffed coach, I think, watching this, being very much in the scrap. What are some of the comments here? Pub Touch says, as a North fan, Wales, if Scotland win, it will be huge for them in North, but puts more pressure on in the table. And Wales have South Africa next week, they will be furious. Yeah, you probably find you got the Wales fans going, no, don't do any of this. Then they're going to bring all the big guys back for Wales. Dear. It's an interesting point. And somebody was talking about the fact that, we're supposed to have 3 teams with no drop-off. Well, I think that... I don't think what we're seeing is necessarily a drop-off. We are definitely seeing, I think, a better side than what England are. And I think we're seeing inexperience. But that's kind of the point. I think people aren't... No one's saying that, if you South Africa B or C team, inverted commas, would win a World Cup. But you've got players over here who are definitely at a similar level. But you've got to get them into these sort of situations, because you can't sit there and look at a Paul de Villiers playing in his 3rd game of his career for the Boks and think that he's going to react the same way that a Peter Step the Toy, who's playing his, I think, 98th game, is going to react. Completely different. And that's why you got to get Paul de Villiers, who's had a phenomenal game so far, into these types of situations. Pick up and go off the back of the scrum coming from Ulrich Lowe. Tackle is the call. Still fighting to get down to the ground. Grant Williams, goes Peter Step the Toy. Nice carry coming from him. Quick ball from Grant Williams and Paul de Villiers. As I mentioned, that's another good carry from him. Grant Williams goes to Ruan Nokia. Andre Pollard was looking to go into the ruck and has basically been thrown halfway across the field. That's why he doesn't. That's why leave it to the forwards, Andre. Leave it to the forwards. Peter Step the Toy, pick up and go. Ulrich Lowe, now Grant Williams to the right-hand side. Ben Jason Dixon pops up to Jan Kobler. Wasn't really expecting it. Pick up and go from Ben Jason. That's a bit more direct. That's a bit better from Ben Jason Dixon. More like what we want to see. Penalty advantage from the Boks as well. Grant Williams goes to Jan Hendrik Wessels. I need to see more of him with the ball in hand. Andre Pollard, first receiver. It is going to Pollard. And he fires out to Willemse. Willemse, caught in the ball. Pops it back inside to Quine Horn. Quine Horn, what a space. Quine Horn looking to try and free his hands. Just caught. Looking for support was Quine Horn. Nobody quite there, but he managed to stay in as well. Penalty advantage here. Leave it as the ball. South Africa on the front foot. And over we go! And Ulrich Lowe says, I'm on home turf and I'll take a try for myself. Thank you very much. We finally get over. And that's what we've needed. That's what we've needed. Just good go forward ball. And again, what's good to see us is good go forward ball coming from Ben Jason Dixon. And then Ulrich Lowe says, bang! Thank you very much. Good angle being run by the big man. The Prince of Loftus, really. And an important try. Such an important try, that. 19 points to 14. Andre Pollard with kicking duties. It would actually been interesting to see if he wasn't on the park, who would have taken it. My guess would have been Damian Willemse. I don't know if Quine Horn is suddenly going to start pulling those out. And makes no mistake. 21 points to 14. Important score, that. Very, very important try, that. Let's hope that's a bit of a shift in momentum. 22 minutes still left on the clock. Emmanuel says, we're going to win, no stress. Oh, well, there we go, mate. Why didn't you just say so earlier? I've been stressing you all this time, and it turns out I didn't need to, because we're going to win. There we go. Well, I'll take your word for it. CJ Watt saying, we're cooking. Well, let's keep cooking. Because they've changed. A couple of players now have Scotland Hiddleston onto the park in the number 16 jersey. Looks like Sutherland on as well. Ronald Keir goes up. Slow ball here from Grant Williams. And they can see the penalty to Scotland. And that was Bayliss, who tried to get inside of the base of the moor, but did so illegally, says the referee. So it is a penalty. And we'll be able to clear our lines. And this is the last 20 minutes. This is where you obviously start to sometimes see the shifts that we talk about. You know, we talk about the altitude and kind of the impact that has. And you really start to see it in the final sort of 20 minutes. And this is where hopefully we're trying to really up the ante. My frustration at the moment is I don't feel like we've had the forward dominance to be able to get the backline into the mix. You know, like Damian Willemse at 12 is something we wanted to see. We wanted to see Edel van der Merwe getting opportunities, but he's not really had anything to speak of with terms of go forward ball. So let's obviously, hopefully now that's good only more to start with things. And there's a penalty advantage as well. Now we're starting to get into our work. Looking at the only more still going. Past 10 meters going. It's still going. I feel like I'm narrating a horse race at the moment. Grant Williams now breaks. And he goes to first year Pollard. And wrapping around is Quinehorn. Quinehorn with lots of options. Straightens, gets it out to Damian Willemse. Now this is more what we're talking about. Damian Willemse with this back inside. Gets all the way to Edel van der Merwe. Into 22 we go. That's what I want to see. And a bit of space of Grant Williams gets it inside to Damian Willemse. He's got to run up here as well. Does he need him? No, he does. It's just. And he reaches and he scores. Damian Willemse, you biscuit. He's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Damian Willemse, that is ridiculous. Stop it. Stop it, Damian Willemse. I mean, what can he not do? Oh my word. What the absolute goat. The goat. Inside ball comes and steps inside. Stays patient. Oh, does he get grounding? We're going to have a relook at that. No issue here. No issue here. Well, no issue. And there it is. That's let's try and hope that is breaking the back of the game. Because that's a huge try. And that's what I say. I said, when we get to the 60-minute mark, this is now where we need to start shifting up a gear. And the celebration from Damian Willemse, who I said after last week, could this finally be the year we might see him into World Player of the Year nominations? Well, he had a phenomenal game last week. He's on the scoreboard this week. And it is time. It is time that we start seeing Damian Willemse in that mix. Instuka Uno, by the way, on for Jan Krobelop. And I'll tell you what, speaking of its time, Instuka Uno has been phenomenal for the Stormers this season. And let's see what he can do. Well, Emmanuel, you were right saying he told me. He did tell me. And my man's got the gift. He's prophetic, is Emmanuel in the comments. But Tupolotto and Rin Russell, oh, that's a nice little wraparound from Carl Steyn. I love watching Finn Russell play rugby. Just the way he also angles his body is just so... everything's so natural to him. Now Scotland on the front foot here. And space out wide. If one of them across, does get across very well. Grant Williams has been taken out at the ruck. He wasn't very chuffed with that. Referee saying nothing wrong there. Gregor Brown. Paul de Villiers on that ball. Missed it, says the referee. Ben White to the right-hand side. Ball pops up for Bayliss. Oh, big hit there coming from, I think it's Jan Engine Vessels. And Pierre Skuman bounces off of Albert Lowe. Has a second go. Now Finn Russell. Not too much. And he just goes to the boot and actually runs straight back towards Kyle Rowe. Ball comes back. And I think it's eventually been lost forward, says the referee. No, Finn Russell's still playing, yeah. Very confused. Referee looked like he was going to blow the whistle. I think it might have been a knock-on advantage. That's a really bad pass. Carl Steyn's having to go back and retrieve this. Andre Pollard misses the tackle. This is bizarre. It's like the game's being played in slow motion at the moment. Now Kyle Rowe takes into contact. Seems to be no advantage. Now, big carry, they're coming. And penalty for the Boks, holding on. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, 17 minutes to go. Nothing secured just yet, but the bonus point on the board. And Ben Jason Dixon making up for that yellow card with that steal. I want to see a scrum, yeah. I want to see what Tuka Tunu. There it is. Big Bull Tunu. Scrum, smash, repeat, says the sign. I'll tell you what, that's two pretty passionate Stormers supporters in the crowd. So break and play at the moment, and when we resume, we'll have 16 and a half minutes left on the clock. Doesn't look like we're going to see Ethan Hooker back on the park, which I'm almost a little bit upset about. I wanted to really see what Quiet Horn could do at 10. I think that was such a ballsy move. We haven't been able to really see it come off, but I would have loved to have seen him have a go. I love the fact that was an option. He's still kicking for touch here, Quiet Horn, despite Andre Pollard being on. Yeah, it's a pretty good kick, so why not? Why not? Yeah, now there's laughter in the coaching box. Now they're feeling a bit more comfortable as Rassie and the lads. Don't think they were very tough with how things were looking a bit earlier, but now people are looking a bit more settled, which is good to see. By the way, I'm going to be putting on a link in the description or in the comments rather very, very soon, where you guys can go and give your player ratings. And I hope you guys are all going to come join me for the player ratings show, which will take place immediately after the game. Another penalty here for the Boks. And basically, we're going to be giving every single player a rating between 1 and 10. And seeing what you guys rate the players versus seeing what I rate the players. And you know what? They'll be contentious because you might look at a game and judge a player different to you to what I will. Vicky Landsberg, who's one of our members, reckons final score 52 points to 26. This is not far off what I said. I said 36-20. So another Bok try, converted try. Maybe a couple and 2-3 pointers. 2-2. I'm not going to take the points, and then I'll be able to cook with my predictions. Nailed the Bok one last week. Got those 47 points. Oh no, ball share at the top. It is going to run towards Andre Pollard though, so we are going to retain possession at least. Not a particularly good lineup. And then Vessel's running around the corner. Quick ball got Williams, and into Tukotulo. There he goes. Now we will knock here with half a gap past the 5-meter line. Jack Potter. Just short. Grant Williams digging for it. Paul de Villiers now. Come on, coming back. Ball over the top. Into Tukotulo almost over. Needs to be a bit careful there, Ben Jason Dixon going over the top. Zach Porthen, pick up and go, Zach Porthen! It was over! Because the man is a moving mountain, Zach Porthen. With the physicality. He's 20 years old. He played for the Boks for the first time a year ago. It was like his 6th professional game. He played like 3 games for Stormers in the URC. And Zach Porthen has his first career try. This man must go to the World Cup. I've been saying, send him to Australia. Put him on the plane, get his visa sorted. Zach Porthen from right there. You're not stopping him. Bang, he goes. That's, yeah, the strength of the man. Making his presence known. Bull saying Zach should be knighted. Sir Zach Porthen. Sir Fridge. We'll call him Sir Fridge. And Andre Pollard looking to add the extras. And does indeed. 35 points to 14. Well, I said 36. So, from my prediction point of view, now we're starting to cook a little bit. Well, I said I wanted to see a response. And this is the kind of response I'm talking about. 14-14 at 15 minutes after that yellow card. Still tied. And now we've been able to kick it up again. Finn Russell just goes short, just chips it. Looking to keep it. Yeah, his quarter's completely out of the way. It's brilliantly done. Carl Staines taking the ball out there. And yeah, that's silly from us. We should have known better. And Vincent Tuka, by the way, onto the park for Paul de Villiers. Oh, we go straight through those. Colin could hit back here, Cummings. And that's Bayless over. Well, that's sloppy from the Boks. That's so sloppy. From the kickoff to the defense, that is diabolical. Short kick off Finn Russell, catching the Boks off guard. Then we've got straight through here. Well, 35 points, 21. That's such a sloppy try to concede right off the kickoff as well. I mean, this is now exactly basically where I was from a kickoff point of view. I mean, from a prediction point of view. So right now, this kind of almost suits me. Right, 35 points, 21. Quan Horn will restart. And let's not throw this away here, people. Can we just not? Not. Ben Jason Dixon brings him down. About 35 points, 21. 12 minutes left on the clock. And they've made another line break. And off they go. Tupolotto on the shoulder. JC Creel gets it back. And then slipped off the tackle there of Albert Lowe. Now a bit of space. They're having to scramble here. Quan Horn gets across. Quan Horn makes the tackle, but they're right there. Ball back inside. Quan Horn makes another tackle. Desperate tackle defenses from the box. What are we doing? Ball's backwards, says the referee. Ten meters out now, Scotland. Tutuka makes a good tackle. Now to the right-hand side. Scotland still going. Going through the phases. Their ball retention has been really good. Penalty advantage now for Scotland. On penalty advantage, chat. Ben White picks up and goes. Looking for options. Well wrapped up there from Tutuka and Jesse Creel. Tutuka's made about 3 tackles just in the space of play. Slow ball now for Ben White. Jesse Creel looking to try and disrupt things. Hiddleston, who made the initial break, brought down by Jan Hendrik Wessels. To left-hand side. Goes himself. Just short. Yeah, no, in fact, he's reached over. He's scored. Well, we're doing well to throw this away. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And this is what Scotland can do. When they start to score, they get into a rhythm. They did this against France in the Six Nations. Yeah, dear me. Are we going to see a dramatic finisher? Just can't stop him there. Initially, I think he's sure. I think he does get over there. Well, game firmly back on in the last 10 minutes, yeah? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, dear. I mean, you know, I'm on blood pressure tablets, people. I don't need this from the box. I don't appreciate this. Because also you just ruined my prediction. $35 points to 28. A converted try would square this up. Less than 10 minutes on the clock. And we've made a bit of a hash of this, to be brutally honest. Because this should have been dead and buried. We were 3 tries ahead about 5 minutes ago. So let's settle things down and get back into the groove here, boys. Ty, restart that. Now it's Tupolotto. Ball over the top from Finn Russell, and Edel van der Merwe's going to have to get across. Good step back inside. Big carry there, almost making the half break, and they have made another break. And it's Bayliss for the looks of it. Quan Horn. It's Bradbury, actually. Scotland back on the front foot, Ben White. Going for the cross kick there. There's nobody home. Grant Williams has to get back. He moves it forward. Does Carl Steyn. It was a phenomenal cross kick. Grant Williams was getting back, but cheap as me. If he held on to that Carl Steyn, that could have been tickets. That could have been tickets. There was so much space out there. The kick from Stafford McDowell. I was panicking. I mean, sorry, Tom Jordan rather, in the number 22 jersey. That's not good first time tackling here, people. Can we just like pull ourselves towards ourselves a little bit and get through this bloody game? Because at the moment, it be not looking very good at all. And it looks like an HIF which took us. So 7 minutes left on the clock. We will have a scrum. Frustrating from him. I mean, he was not on for very long, but made a couple of important tackles over there. Right, big scrum needed. Yeah, Paul de Villiers back on the park for the final few minutes. We need a scrum penalty. We need to get ourselves downfield. And we need to see out this game because this has been a proper test here from Scotland. Too close to call at this stage. A late try and converted from Scotland would actually level things out. A draw would be horrible. Imagine a draw. Ugh. But an interesting Rusty Erasmus press conference to come because this has not been the performance of ages from the box. It's been the sublime and the ridiculous, to be honest. It's been some really good moments and then some cataclysmic moments. So it's been proper all or nothing. And we have a reset here at the scrum. There's a bit of afters there. Let's just get over the line. I did say I think this was going to be our hardest game. So, yeah, need to try and get through this. Come, big scrum needed, yeah, boys. 6 minutes left on the clock. Well, it's a pretty good-looking scrum. It's to the right-hand side. Nothing says the referee. Penalty advantage eventually does come. Honje Pollard goes himself. And Alquan Horn with that left boot will clear downfield. It's a great clearance. Goodness me, it's a good clearance. And an important clearance as well. Just get down to that park. Just see the game out. That's where we're at. It's been so tense. And that coaching staff of Rusty Erasmus has been smiling and now back to serious and smiling and back to serious. They're going through the emotions. As am I. As am I. As I'm sure you guys are as well. Five minutes left. 7 points the difference. Come on, the lads. Such a big test for a lot of these players. Some of them are passing. Some of them might be failing. The review after will be interesting. Tupolotto. Finn Russell. Good read that from Edel van der Merwe on Tom Jordan. Very good read. Now Tupolotto with space. Tupolotto is off. Apele Fassi makes the tackle. Paul de Villiers on the ball. Referee says no, he's missed it. Scotland to the right-hand side. Finn Russell delays the pass, and that's a dreadful pass. And that goes into touch, thankfully. Oh, dear. Cyril says we have been spoiled with what this team has done over the last 10 plus years. Adam says, I haven't seen Rusty look this stressed. Yeah, we're all looking a little bit stressed at the moment. We're all going to need a couple of runners later just to calm things down because this has definitely put us through a lot of emotions. It's been a lot of good and then some bad and then some good and then some bad. And It's been a good test match, tell you what. Nothing else. It's been a very, very good test match. To be honest, I mean, lots of people saying there's too much change. There's this. We get this result, and especially a hard-fought result, and this will be big. To be able to change, again, make those changes and to get over here, it's always a risk. There's always a risk. You know, we spoke about on Tuesday in the show, we said, well, has he gotten it wrong? Have we made too many changes? Is this a risk? And there's always an element of risk to it. But now it's about seeing if these players can get through. Can they weather the storm, cope with it? Can they get a result out here? And, you know, at 35 points, 28, it's a bonus point win. It'll be job done. Yes, it'll be stressful. But if we can get through this, it is job done. Warning sign, sure. But this is the kind of test. And Tubeloso, having a look at his highlights. What a game he's had. Absolutely brilliant. And maybe this is my fault because I was saying that I wanted to be tested as cheap as me, as Scotland said, all right, cool, Steve. You wanted it? Well, here we go. Here it is. Here it is. Good take that from Ruan Nokia. Come on, lads. Just got to get to the last 3.5 minutes here. 3.5 minutes here, boys. Come on. Penalty advantage. There it is. Grant Williams. Pollard. Jesse Creel. Just needs to pop up for him. It does pop up for him. Big hit. Jesse Creel. Jesse Creel's going to go over. And Jesse Creel will seal it for the box. Andre Pollard with a little grubber in behind. Jesse Creel, and eventually popped up, and he says, right here, this is us. Now we can celebrate. Now, where's the runners? Where's the brandy? Where's the beer? Where's the champagne? Let's pop bottles, boys and girls, because the box of, yeah. Bang. He says, yeah. Finn Russell comes up quickly, and the ball just pops up so easily, and then bang, big hit, and then rounds Carl Steyn. That's a big try. And we're going to come through this test. Colin's saying, don't forget the Scots put 50 against the French and also clapped Argentina. No more pushover team. 100%. That's what I'm saying. I think that a lot of people haven't been giving Scotland the credit that they deserve of the kind of team. So Quine Horn's taking his first kick of goal. Pretty straightforward. I don't know if Pollard has just decided, it looks pretty good. I mean, the technique's there. Tears saying, talk about blooding the new boys. Scotland didn't wave at all. They have shown up and given the boys a taste of high-end rugby. So that is great. Winning isn't a given. Good lessons here. 100%. This has been a good game. We've learned so much more, I think, out of this game than what we did a week ago. Because you do need to sometimes struggle. You do need to go through adversity. You do need to have a situation where a team like a Scotland does put you under large amounts of pressure. And that's what's happened today. But we have managed to, yes, a couple of soft moments. We'll need to review that. But we've also been able to rally and score, again, 40 points. We keep speaking about how we keep getting to this 40-point margin the entire time. And that's such a big positive. So what a game this has been. It really has been a great game. That's my only takeaway. I absolutely loved it. Now, Apple Fassi will give chase to that. Maybe Scotland might have something latent there, but lots of pride in the line now not to concede another try. 42 points, 28 at the moment. Ben White, ball back to Finn Russell. Ball inside. Tom Jordan gets it back to Finn Russell. I don't know how he's managed to hold on to that. Gets the ball away to Roy Sutherland. It's very good hands that from Finn. Now Finn Russell, long pass out wide to Carl Steyn. Carl Steyn, not much on it, and big tackle there coming from Ulrich Lowe. Just sort of saying, how's it, I'm here. Roy Sutherland, going backwards at the moment. I mean, into the last minute of the box. And a reminder, we are going to go straight into our player rating show. So make sure you come and join us. Go get yourself a rating on my... Oh, no, another bloody break! And Damien Willemse makes the tackle with Quine Horn there as well. And then they knock it forward. But I think it's a penalty. No, knock it forward as the call. We have one more scrum. And that should be... No, they're playing the advantage. No, the rest of the ref has whistled out. Well. Let's all calm down a little bit. And what a game. And people, you guys have been tremendous. Emmanuel told me not to panic, so I don't know why I've been panicking. If Emmanuel's still in the comments, he did say, Stevie, we've got this. He knew. He said, just chill. Let's chill. This is going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But big ups to Scotland, because this is the kind of game we sorely needed. And very, very glad that they have given it to us. Very glad we've gotten through. And yeah, we laughed at it afterwards, but this has been a perfect blend of, yes, we're good, but look what happens if there's any complacency that comes in. So I'm going to drop a link into the comments over here and go and rate the players. And we'll be going into that show immediately after this. So make sure you come and join us and join the vibes. We're here for the vibes, people. You guys have been tremendous this afternoon. It's been a lot of fun. Love Watchalong. Love doing it with you guys. And let's continue the vibes as we go into the Watchalong. There goes the hooter. Big scrum now. We're going to kick it out to touch. We've got a penalty advantage here. And God, Williams almost comes loose. Pick up and go. We have the penalty right. The question is, are we going to go for the corner? And or are we going to call it a day and say thank you very much? Well, final score 42 points to 28, and epic game. A lot of fun, people. Right, we'll see you right now on the player rating show. Do come and join us. It's a lot of fun, and it's always good to get your guys' thoughts on it as well.